Antiques in Whitesboro. They're buying now. Turn your unwanted gold and silver into instant holiday money. While you're there, explore their amazing collection: furniture, collectibles, pottery, coins, decorative items, and so much more. Find something special or make a little extra this season at the Potting Shed Antiques, 52 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro, online at thepottingshedantiques.com.
I always buy my emergency food from My Patriot Supply. Fair prices, fast shipping, quality food.
We love buying from My Patriot Supply. The products are fantastic and service is excellent.
My Patriot Supply is America's most trusted emergency food company, and right now they have a special offer for listeners of this station. It's called the Black Friday Survival Special, and it comes with a 4-week food supply, plus $150 worth of free gifts, including everything you need to prepare your emergency meals, like a cook stove, fuel, fire starters, even a water purifier, bug-out bag, and more. It's the complete survival kit your family needs to ride out natural disasters, civil unrest, or worse. And it makes a great Christmas gift, but it's only available through Black Friday. So head to mypatriotsupply.com to check out everything that's included. With all the uncertainty in the world, disaster preparedness is more important than ever. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and get prepared today. That's mypatriotsupply.com.
He digs, he turns, he dives! It is a touchdown! It is a touchdown!
The NFL is on Westwood One.
Uncorks a deep ball, downfield, into the end zone, a crowd is there, and it is caught! Touchdown! Miraculous!
The NFL plays here all season long on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Okay, I'm going to try to not butcher another name this morning, but Lung Cancer Screening Awareness Month is here in November. It's a very important thing that you should do. Catching these things early is a real game changer. The director of thoracic surgery at MVHS is Dr. Mark Cry. Did I get that right, Doc? Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Bill. Thanks.
Okay, so obviously, who should be tested? I mean, if you grew up with someone who smoked and you breathed in a lot of secondhand smoke, are you among the high risk people who should be tested?
So no, the people they've identified are anyone between the ages of 50 and 80, and they're either active smokers or quit within the last 15 years.
Okay.
And they smoked 20 pack years. And what that means is 1 pack a day for 20 years, 2 packs a day for 10 years, however you want to cut up the math. Those are the people that we've identified as the highest risk. These people have a significant benefit to getting screening. There's lots of other folks who, while they may be at a slight increased risk, say secondhand smoke exposure, firefighters, there's not the same benefit that you get from that group of people who we've identified.
We're going to come to you and ask you on this. Are you a 1-packer, a 2-packer? What are you per day?
I can't believe you asked me that. So it depends on what's going on. Doc, I'm sorry to even be talking about this. I know it's the worst thing I've ever done in my life. I can tell you when I was with FedEx and I was driving all day, I was smoking probably more than a pack. On a typical day now, I might only have 8 or 9. I mean,
listen, it's a tough thing to do. Most people started
early.
I see people 40, 50, 60 years ago they started, right, before they really knew better. And it's a very, very difficult thing to quit. And so, there are definitely a lot of resources available. Smoking cessation programs through New York State, our office, a lot of primary care doctors, everyone's happy to help you. It just takes, making that first step, making that decision to want to quit. Not only from the reduced risk of lung cancer, there's heart disease, there's other factors that go in. Plus, the state keeps making it more and more expensive every pack.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. You hear people who've, I quit smoking and we went to Disney or whatever, the money that can be ultimately saved on cigarettes. Do you, what is a screening for lung cancer?
Sure. So it's covered by insurances. So once a year, it's a low dose, lower dose of radiation. It's a CT scan of the chest. There's no IV contrast, so there's no IVs or anything like that. You meet with either your primary care doctor, or you can reach out to our program, our lung cancer screening program. It does involve having a conversation just about risks and benefits, those kind of things about it, and how we're going to interpret the images. The scan itself takes just a couple minutes, get you set up for an appointment, and then being able to see, hopefully there's nothing there. Even if there is something there, it doesn't necessarily mean it's cancer, but that's part of why we have that shared decision making to explain, like, we may find something, doesn't mean it's cancer, but means we might have to, kind of delve a little deeper into it.
And do you, I believe you are one of the physicians who uses the robotic surgery.
Correct. Yes. I've been here now 2.5 years. And big part of why I wanted to come here was to be able to bring that robotic surgery, the minimally invasive surgery, here to the Mohawk Valley. Being kind of from the area initially, really wanted to help kind of provide that kind of world-class care. And so we've done over 200 robotic cases since I've been here. And, people have had really great things to say. I've had very good experience, especially at the Wynn Hospital. And, just happy to kind of bring a high-quality level of care to this area, which, they deserve.
What of early detection? Are there numbers? It's easy for us to say, with Tim Reed and myself, we always talk with real men get tested for cancer. Yep. Men tend to be a little more stubborn than women, but we're always saying early detection saves lives. Are there numbers to back that up for lung cancer?
There are. So, the difference between early stage 1 lung cancer and a much more aggressive, say, stage 3 or, God forbid, a metastatic disease, it's really a dramatic change. I think the numbers that are quoted in the studies is there's about a 20% mortality risk reduction. People who find their cancer from screening versus a lot of times when people come in to get scans, they're symptomatic. They're coming in, they're they're having difficulty breathing, those kind of things. When you look at the overall 5-year survival for stage 1, early stage 1 lung cancers, it can be over 90%. When you get into that stage 3, you're looking at 30%.
Wow.
And stage 4 is even worse. So that's why, I see people pretty much every week who we found something and they're like, I would have had no idea I had it. I'm not having pain, not having breathing issues, not making me cough. That's why it's so important to get these screening scans. Same way, for the colonoscopy or the prostate or the breast exams.
Catch it early.
Mammography, got to catch it early. If you wait till there's symptoms, the horse may not be completely out of the barn, but it's a whole different.
It's a different deal.
It's a game changer.
Dr. Mark Cry, this month is Lung Cancer Screening Awareness Month, and you're, I believe, accepting new patients. 315-801-8567 is the number over at Wynn. And Doc, we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Bill. I really appreciate it. Definitely get yourself screened. November Lung Cancer Awareness Month. It's the #1 cause of cancer deaths in the country and in the world. So let's get after this.
Doc, thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you so much, Bill. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Dr. Mark Cry.
Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and Clinton. Life can be tough, full of judgment and negativity, but for 30 minutes a day, you can forget all that and focus on yourself. Just like one of our members, Irene, who mentions that everyone's cheering for each other, pushing through the sweat, the tough moments, and even the stuff that feels a little sucky. Irene also mentions finding the strength, the confidence, and a real fitness family here is outstanding. Come join us, embrace the challenge, and find your fitness home at Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and Clinton.
Looking for a place filled with history, adventure, and community spirit? You'll find it all in Herkimer County. From scenic views in the Adirondacks to outdoor fun, unique shops, and festivals that bring our towns and villages to life. There's something for everyone. For a complete list of events and experiences, visit herkimercountyny.gov/events. Herkimer County, where history, commerce, and beauty collide. It's all happening here.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Good morning. Still snowing, 26 degrees. WIBX news time is 6:29. Of course, today is Veterans Day. Flight disruptions are worsening nationwide as the FAA cuts flights due to staffing shortages tied to the government shutdown. Delays jumped to more than 9,000 on Monday, with 2,400 cancellations and further reductions expected through Friday. Veterans Day demonstrations are planned nationwide today as veterans groups protest the Trump administration. Organized by Vets Say No and Mayday Strong, the rallies will take place in cities across the U.S., including California, New York, and Washington, D.C. Organizers say they're speaking out against ICE, fascism, military occupation, and cuts to veterans services. Canada has lost its measles elimination status, and the United States could be next. The Pan American Health Organization made the move after Canada's outbreak lasted more than a year, warning the U.S. could follow in January if it doesn't stop its own measles outbreak. Measles cases that began in Texas have now spread to several states, fueled by falling vaccination rates. A new study finds that coffee may help protect against irregular heartbeats. Research presented at the American Heart Association shows that 1 cup a day could reduce the risk of atrial fibrillation, or AFib, recurrence, a condition affecting more than 10 million Americans and linked to heart failure and blood clots. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 6:31. We'll be joined by Weather Channel meteorologist Jeff Marr coming up in about 15 minutes. But let's check in with his forecasts right now. It is still snowing outside in 26.
A winter weather advisory is in effect until 6 p.m. on this Veterans Day. There may be 3 to 7 inches of accumulation as lake effect snow continues. Also gusty winds out of the west with a high of 37. Another round of snow late tonight with a low in the upper 20s. A change to rain tomorrow with a high of 41. And showers Thursday with a high in the low 40s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Again, still snowing in 26. In New York Mills, it was just barely a dusting on the ground, a little bit on the car, and some on the lawn, but there was barely anything on the roadways. It was different when we got in here into Marcy. So we have, as we do in many cases, varying snow amounts if you're just getting up this morning. But there is some snow on the car. You'll have to scrape the windows, so give yourself a couple of extra minutes. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 6:32. We'll go to the phones for Fox News. I want to say meteorologist, but you're not a meteorologist, Ryan. Ryan Schmelz checking in from D.C. Congress one step closer to ending the government shutdown. And where do we stand as of this morning? Again, from Fox News, not a meteorologist, Ryan Schmelz. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
So they did pass the deal. They did make the arrangement yesterday.
They did. That is correct. Yes, the Senate agreed on a package that would fund the government all the way until the end of January, avoiding this mess during the holiday season, and then pretty much there will be 3 of the 12 appropriations bills that will be funded until the next fiscal year. So if we hit another government shutdown in January, at least part of the government will be funded until the entire fiscal year. So that was some progress that looks to be made on that front.
So one of the big things that was part of this that caused the shutdown, the Democrats had said premiums were going to double and Americans were going to pay basically twice as much for their health insurance. And obviously that's a major problem. The costs go up as they are anyway, let alone being doubled. So what's happened with that? They've kicked a vote back on this. Essentially, the Republicans had to promise at some point in the next couple of months, we'll take this issue up for a vote.
That's essentially what happened. Yes, Republicans have given Democrats a guarantee of a vote in the Senate, but here's the thing: is that the House isn't guaranteeing a vote. So Speaker Johnson hasn't made that same commitment just yet. And the question is, well, what's going to happen now then? And what are they going to do about this issue just in general? And there have been some working groups that are having conversations about, can they fund the Affordable Care Act tax subsidies with significant reforms? Can they find a better system to lower premiums? Healthcare is being talked about once again in Congress, but ultimately, that's one of the reasons why I think Democrats are so frustrated, is that they felt that just giving them a guarantee on the deal isn't going to get that guarantee that it's going to pass. So there's certainly some issues that Democrats have right now.
Yeah, so here's, I guess, the part that I get lost on. Without the Senate promising we'll take this up for a vote, was this just going to go unchecked or unaddressed by Congress? I mean, that's pretty significant. I understand it's part of Obamacare and Republicans have the issue with Obamacare, but essentially premiums would double and there was nothing that it wasn't going to be addressed in any fashion?
I mean, I don't know. It wasn't something that was on people's radar up until this started being talked about again, right? But keep in mind, it was 20 million people who were under these subsidies. That's only 6% of the population. So maybe it wasn't exactly the loudest issue or the issue that was most pressing to everyone. And that was something that I kept bringing up was it worth shutting down the government for this issue when, there have been questions about whether – and look, these premiums are always supposed to expire. It was always there was a sunset that was put on them back when Democrats first passed it. Mm-hmm. And, one of the things that this has been raised a lot of questions about is, number one, who's getting them, because there were examples of people who were given who, were in their 50s, early retirees, making over $100,000 a year off of pensions. And, there were people saying, well, wait a minute, why should they be getting subsidized by the government when other people don't get subsidized and they're, making significantly less money?
Yeah.
That was kind of the issue Republicans have had. And Republicans have said, and you got Mike Lawler and some others who will tell you that they're open to, an extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits, but they're not going to do it unless there's significant reforms of who's getting it and how they're getting it.
All right. So, and then aside from these two issues, do you have any insight on what's going on with Schumer and the Democrats and what the reaction was to this vote? Can you shed any more light on that?
Yeah, I mean, Chuck Schumer's seat is hot. And I got some pretty rough text messages from people who were pretty furious at Chuck Schumer the other night. And Chuck Schumer is, while he didn't vote for the bill and while he was, firm in his opposition to it, he is taking a big portion of the heat, and people are going after him pretty extensively on the Democrat side. You have at least 3 House members I can think of right now who've called for him to be replaced as the minority leader. So, his seat's pretty hot right now, it looks like.
Okay, so he didn't vote for it. Do you understand why he's catching all this flack for it? Is it because he's not punishing those who did decide to vote with Republicans? He's not punishing them for flipping?
I mean, that could be it, that the Democrats didn't stand firm, and there have been Democrats who broke from the party. There's arguments that he still is getting – he's still kind of – he was still under the microscope from the last time they had a government funding battle. So I think all that kind of plays into it. But, these House members have been firing off this stuff on social media. We haven't had a chance to really talk to them about why they are doing this. But the reality is that he is the leader of the Senate Democrats. And if people break away and, they don't stay lockstep or stay unified, he's going to bear the brunt of the bullying for that.
So I again, the issue just confuses me. I mean, is this, and some people are going to say yes when I ask this, it's a rhetorical question, but is this like the mob? Like you're one of your guys robbed your card game and you didn't I don't know. What is Schumer supposed to do? Put somebody in a closet and beat them up because they're going to vote because they voted with their, I just don't understand why he's catching the flack for it. But anyway. It just reminds me of a scene from The Sopranos where one guy robs the card game, and Christopher flips out and he goes, "You were my friend," and basically he was betrayed. But I just don't understand what Schumer's supposed to do. Everybody's got their own vote. So what was he got to threaten him with a primary like Trump would do? I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, it's a weird circumstance, but it's the reality of the situation. And, he was the one who caved last time, so the pressure builds on him.
All right. Well, Ryan Schmelz, thank you so much. I appreciate your updates, and you've been with us every day checking in on this, and I'm sure we'll talk to you tomorrow as well.
Hey, sounds good, my friend. Thank you.
Take care. Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio. And he's not a meteorologist, as much as I wanted to call him one this morning. Speaking of meteorology, there is some snow on the ground if you're just waking up. I guess varied accumulations in spots. As I said, I was coming from New York Mills this morning. There wasn't much on the road. There was a little bit on the grass and a little bit on the car. But when I got into Marcy here, I was like, wow. And as a matter of fact, there was a group running.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and thank God they had the neon vests on.
They were up at the fast track when
Yeah, because I wouldn't have seen them otherwise. And but there was a significant amount on the road here.
Well, you know where I live.
I should say there was at least an inch on the road, but coming from Blacktop, it seemed significant.
You know where I live,
yes.
In the general area. I had to clean my car off with my snow brush. I had about probably 3 inches of snow on my car.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I had a little bit on the car. I had to scrape the windows.
In the road, and they were plowing the roads when I was up this morning.
Oh, they were plowing?
Yes.
Yeah, see, like commercial drive area, there's not really anything to plow unless they came through just before I drove.
Well, the county
all blacktop.
Well, the main road 365 where I live, the county went out about, I heard the plow like at 4 o'clock.
Plowing or salting?
They were plowing. The snow was on the road.
Yeah, okay.
On the blacktop.
And obviously, northern locations, higher elevated areas, have gotten more than we have. That's for sure. You can bet on that. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time 640. It's First News, Keeler in the morning.
Everyone is watching major movements ripple through the markets these days, sparked by new policy shifts out of Washington, elections around the country, and activity from the Federal Reserve. Americans have faced uncertainty before, and every time, we've found our footing again. The real secret to long-term financial peace is simple. Keep your eyes on the horizon and understand the fundamentals that drive real stability. That's exactly why Advantage Gold is inviting you to call 800-741-GOLD right now. We'll send you a free Gold IRA rollover kit, along with a complimentary copy of economist Ken Rogoff's insightful book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. Inside, you'll learn how to defend your retirement savings against inflation, market swings, and reckless fiscal policies with tangible assets like precious metals that have preserved wealth for centuries. It's no wonder Advantage Gold has been America's #1 gold company for the past decade. Take a smart step toward protecting what you've earned. Call 800-741-GOLD. That's 800-741-4653. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-741-GOLD.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
Whatever you need to haul, landscaping tools, heavy construction gear, or even livestock, Clinton Tractor has the trailer for the job. Choose steel, aluminum, or galvanized frames from 500 pounds to 55 tons with trusted names like B-Wise, Eager Beaver, and EB. For trailers, parts, and service you can count on, visit the Caledona family at Clinton Tractor.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
ClintonTractor.net.
Some firsts you'd like to leave in the rearview mirror. Other firsts are life-changing. 90 years ago, Nokian tires changed driving with our first, the invention of the winter tire. Today, we're still the leader in winter driving with more than 100 patents and 200 days of testing in the Arctic every year. Winter is our first love. Make winter safety your first priority. Nokian tires. First things first. Visit Tolman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tolmanstire.com.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second, If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, it is 6:44. We're joined by Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel for an update on kind of what we're seeing today as we are still under a winter weather advisory. Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Yeah, doing well. You're right. Under a winter weather advisory until 6 this evening for Madison or night in the southern portion of Herkimer County. And Lewis County is under a winter weather advisory until 1 this afternoon. So we're going to continue to have lake effect snow showers moving through. By the time that snow winds down this evening, we could wind up with total accumulation from dating back to yesterday of about 3 to 7 inches, maybe 6 to 9 inches across portions of the Tug Hill Plateau.
Yeah, so Davey and I were just talking about this. We've got some spotty totals. I don't even want to say totals because where I come from, it's not far from here. It's only about 8 minutes away. It was just a little bit on the grass, really nothing on the road, and you had to clean off the car. Yet when I got in here to Marcy, there was snow on the road, enough where if you're driving over it, it might make your vehicle hydroplane a little bit, if you will. So we do have some spotty totals coming in right now.
Yeah, we're going to have to be careful, as you mentioned this morning. We're in the 20s right now with a wind chill in the upper teens, and as a result, you're right, anything that's not treated has the potential to turn icy, not only this morning, but certainly again tonight and into Wednesday morning. Our low tonight down into the upper 20s. We'll have another disturbance rolling through during the overnight hours that could create a few snow showers, and then we'll see that snow mixing with it, eventually changing over to just a cold rain into tomorrow afternoon as we hit the low 40s. Rain Thursday, maybe a mix of rain and snow Friday morning, and then after a dry start to the weekend, just rain falls we had from Sunday into the early part of next week on Monday.
Next chance of sunshine and 40 degrees. You see that on the outlook there?
Yeah, I see a drier afternoon on Friday and certainly a decent start to the weekend, a mix of clouds and sun Saturday, close to 40, and then we'll see rain increasing in coverage Sunday. It'll be a little bit warmer Sunday, but wet with showers, upper 40s, cooler with rain and low 40s on Monday. So certainly the coldest weather today, though, only hitting a high in the mid to upper 30s, and as we mentioned, wind chills down to the teens and 20s with some of these wind gusts out of the west near 20 to 30 miles per hour.
Yeah, certainly a chilly start. Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel, thank you.
You got it. We'll talk soon. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. That is Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel checking in. This is here sooner than I wanted it to be. Not a big fan of this. All right, Smitty, I have a story that's going to make you scratch your head here. A police chief in, I think it's Cheshire, is how you say it, Cheshire, appeared for an arraignment in North Adams on Monday on a charge of engaging in sexual conduct for a fee. This is a story out of Massachusetts. Again, this is a police chief. Michael Alabozic, who's 53, was placed on paid administrative leave by Cheshire town officials last week. A probable cause report states that Alabozic made an overt act to meet up with a woman who was an undercover law enforcement officer for a sexual relationship. Prior to the meeting, the police chief communicated his intentions to be a customer for a sexual relation and agreed to pay to engage in sexual conduct, reads an affidavit by the Massachusetts State Police. Alabozic made a brief appearance in Northern Berkshire District Court where the facts of the case were not discussed, and the judge entered a plea of not guilty. He was released on his own recognizance and is due back in court on December 22nd. Boy, that's a rough way to start your Christmas week. He looks forward to his day in court, his attorney said after the arraignment. He is presently most concerned with addressing the underlying charges in a consistent manner and preserving his privacy, especially regarding his family. The police chief had been communicating online with an undercover state police detective and arranged to meet up at 9:45 p.m. on November 6th at the Hoosick Valley Middle and High School, the Berkshire County DA's office said. Okay, so and he's meeting at the middle and high school. This isn't getting any better. State police arrested him inside the school parking lot after being read his Miranda rights. Alabozic told state police that he went on a website to try and get girls off the street. That's his immediate defense, is that he was meeting up with them and essentially counseling them that they were making some poor decisions in life and they shouldn't be doing this. Quote, he meets with them, talks with them, and attempts to set them straight. Well, he's trying to set something straight, and I don't think it's the women. Court documents state, quote, he has touched base with approximately 4 or 5 females in the past year. Elibozic told investigators that he found the website about a year ago and described the meetings with women as more of a talk and an attempt to get them on a straight line more than doing anything, quote, with them. He met with one woman from Pittsfield and one from Lenox in the past 4 to 5 months. That's what he told investigators. I don't know if he has any evidence of this or if it's true. The police chief was relieved of his duty as a chief after his arrest and placed on administrative leave by the Cheshire Town Administrator and the chair of the Select Board. His town-issued gun was also seized, and he no longer has access to the police station. Boy, what a career
His job's
move.
Gone down the drain.
Even if he's found not guilty here,
he'll never be able to get a job again.
Well, certainly not with where he's going to have to move.
Yeah.
The police chief, the police department is not going to hire him back.
Some people do dumb things sometimes. They don't think.
Bank of America facing a proposed class and collective action lawsuit that accuses the company of failing to pay hundreds of hourly workers for time spent booting their computers, logging in, and launching required software before officially starting their shifts. The complaint, filed by a former employee, Tava Martin, focuses on a routine familiar to many in the modern workplace: unlock encrypted drives, signing in through multi-factor authentication, connecting to a VPN, and then launching business-critical applications. According to the filing, these tasks could take up to 30 minutes each day and were required before employees could access the company's timekeeping system to clock in. This could take even longer if technical problems occurred. And during unpaid lunch breaks, many systems would automatically disconnect, forcing employees to repeat parts of this protracted login process, adding approximately 3 to 5 minutes of more unpaid time on most days. At the end of each shift, workers had to log out of all programs and securely close down their workstations, adding another 2 to 3 minutes. Now, that doesn't sound like much, but it does add up, and it's something that you must do in order to properly do your job. It's not like they're, what is it? I'm having a
brain freeze.
Yeah. The program you run on your computer and it organizes the files if you haven't done defrag.
Yes.
Run a defrag
Yes,
on a computer. That's something you can choose to do on your own if your computer seems a little wonky, but it's not required to log in before you punch in. And then at the end of the day, when you punch out, you have to do, again, it's only 3 to 5 minutes, but at the end of every day, 5 days, that's 15. So you're talking 15 minutes a week. That's an hour of work approximately per month, an hour of time spent, and that's 12 hours a year. It doesn't sound like much, but anyway, the lawsuit leans on the long-standing guidance from the U.S. Department of Labor, which in 2008 clarified that such computer startup tasks could be considered compensable under the Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA, and it was an integral part to employee activities. Again, this isn't something they chose to do on their own or to say, listen, the computer runs better, my laptop runs better when I do this. They specifically had to do this as a requirement of their job. Specifically, the agency treated booting and preparing workstations as part of a worker's first principal activity, if those tasks are necessary to perform the job. In this case, the plaintiff argues that launching the company's digital workspace was a prerequisite for fulfilling the analyst role, and Bank of America should have compensated them for that time. Martin's legal team is seeking back pay and damages for a class they estimate includes hundreds of similarly situated business analysts and support staff who were required to use Bank of America's remote access tools before logging work hours. The plaintiffs are reportedly pursuing both class action and collective action status, which would allow them to represent a broader group of affected employees across multiple states. Recent court rulings on similar cases have varied. In some cases, pre-login time has been found non-compensable. especially when workers were able to perform other duties while their computers were being booted. Others have sided with employees who were where specific boot-up sequences were clearly tied to core job functions and could not be bypassed. At the time of this article's posting, Bank of America has not responded publicly to the filing. The case, Martin v. Bank of America, was filed in federal court in late October and remains at the preliminary stage. So I actually do think they kind of have a case here, especially if it is something that is required that you must do. And not only that, it's before and after. So anyway, we got someone on the line?
Nope.
What was that, the Davies Show?
No, just checking in.
For the Davies Show?
No.
Can you tell us, Bill and I want to know what you do in there, because you have your own show going on sometimes. So for the audience who doesn't see Davey because you're off camera, even for the YouTube audience.
I'm Davey.
Yeah, we know Davey. We just can't see you sometimes. Sometimes you're on the phone in there for 45 minutes and an hour. And we'll go to you and we'll say, Davey, how much is the free money question today? And this is what we get. Davey, how much for the free money? Davey, oh, and then you'll turn your mic on. You're doing your own show in there.
No, I'm doing my executive producer work. I'm trying to get guests, and plus I'm doing other work.
What other work? Are you being compensated for this other work? Is this work critical to the show?
Well, it's work for the show.
Or is this work for another company?
No, it's work for the show.
It is?
Yeah.
What do you talk about in there?
Well, I have certain people that call me up to BS with me.
I'm sure. I know that.
Yeah.
And do they badmouth Bill and I?
No.
Because I see you in there laughing sometimes, especially if I make a mistake.
No.
Like I did last week when Larry got on my case.
Yeah, about Davis Mills, and you pronounced him David Mills.
David Miller, is that what I called him?
David Miller. Yeah.
Which, by the way, Davis Mills led that comeback against the Jaguars.
How about that?
On Sunday. That was a wild game.
Sure was. It was one of the best games of Sunday.
So Davis Mills, who knows who the heck Davis Mills is, and they have an excellent quarterback.
C.J. Stroud, who's out on concussion.
The concussion protocol. They were down 19 points in the fourth quarter, and they ended up winning the game. It was 29-10. They ended up winning the game 36-29. Now, that last touchdown, the last 6 points, came on the last play of the game where Trevor Lawrence got sacked. The ball popped up, a defensive lineman snagged the ball, and then took it to the house. I'm sorry, Lance and Lee just sent me a message.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'll get to that in a second, Lance. But I don't have any political stickers on my car. He took it to the house there. So they scored 26 fourth quarter points. Again, one of them came on the last play. But it made me think Brian Daboll was coaching the Jacksonville Jaguars. You blow a 19-point fourth quarter lead? That's unheard of, unless you're a Giants fan. We do it every other weekend. You got nothing to add?
I got nothing to add.
All right. It's 6:57. Some snow on the ground if you're just waking up. We'll check news, local and national, and we'll talk to Dr. Kent Hall coming up this morning. We'll also talk with Farmer Ben. Farmer Ben joins us in the 8 o'clock hour. Stay tuned for that. If you have questions or comments, be sure to get them to us. Bill is back tomorrow, in case you were wondering. First news, Keeler in the morning, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
Journey through a classic story of small wonders and big dreams.
Not a second can be spared, 'cause it all comes down to Christmas.
As one of America's favorite Yuletide movies comes to life. Ralphie, his family, and best pals. Live on stage. We triple dog dare you to miss the smash hit A Christmas Story, the musical.
Live on stage November 11th and 12th at the Stanley Theater. Visit BroadwayUtica.org today to get your tickets.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/fax. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Celebrating 100 years.
It's day 42 of the government shutdown. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I am very, very happy to be able to say that we are coming to the end.
Senate Republican leader John Thune relieved after a final vote last night approved government funding through January 30th, with 8 Democrats who broke ranks with their party Sunday to end a long filibuster Sunday, joining Republicans again in favor of the plan.
The House vote to align with the Senate is expected to take place around 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So final passage will probably happen tomorrow night or early Thursday morning. And House Speaker Mike Johnson sounds optimistic the bill will pass.
That's Fox's Madeline Rivera.
Senate Republicans promised in a side deal a separate vote in December on a health care bill, but Johnson says he can't guarantee a vote on ACA subsidies in the House, saying he has to build consensus among members.
Well, that's why many Democrats are upset they didn't get their demands met, that any funding include an extension of the Obamacare tax credits expiring at the end of the year. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries says that's unacceptable.
Tens of millions of Americans are about to experience dramatically increased health care costs.
Now, the bill does include funding for SNAP food assistance through next September as a legal battle continues during the shutdown, trying to keep the program funded. And while the shutdown continues, the flight troubles persist at airports, with another 1,100 plus cancellations and almost 600 delays this morning after over 11,000 affected flights yesterday. Amid issues with some air traffic controllers working without pay, not going to work, President Trump told Fox's Laura Ingraham,
"We should not have had people leaving their jobs. And what I basically did is say the ones that stayed, of which there were a lot of them, I'm sending them a $10,000 bonus."
Where's that money coming from?
I don't know. I'll get it from someplace.
It's Veterans Day, and Congressman Rich McCormick, a Republican, tells Fox,
"Thanks to all those who have served. It's about 5.5% of all of the American population has served at one time or another."
America's listening to Fox News.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the cost of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/fax. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
It is a partnership long seen unlikely. The U.S. and Syria.
We have peace now in the Middle East. First time that anyone can remember that ever happening.
That was President Trump sitting next to Syria's new leader at the White House, a president who years ago was captured by American forces during the Iraq War, while Ahmed Al-Shara was fighting for al-Qaeda-linked militants. Now, the president of Syria, he tells Fox.
We talked about the investment opportunities in the future in Syria, and so that Syria is no longer looked at as a security threat. It is now looked at as a geopolitical ally.
In Pakistan, a suicide bomber went on the attack today, blowing himself up outside a court next to a police car, killing at least 12 people, the day after what appears to be an attack in India.
Anti-terror laws are being used to investigate Monday's apparent car bombing in New Delhi. At least 8 people died and several others were hurt. The counter-terror legislation gives agencies extra powers to detain suspects. But police are keeping an open mind about the possibility the explosion was an accidental blast or a car failure. It was believed to have originated from a Hyundai i20 that stopped at a traffic light. Officers are also looking into a potential connection with the seizure of almost 800 pounds of explosive-making chemicals in a nearby city. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
On this Veterans Day, there's no mail. Banks are closed, but there will be trading on Wall Street. Futures are mixed now. The morning after a big surge in the NASDAQ went up more than 500 points. On Monday Night Football, Philadelphia wins to close out Week 10 of the NFL season.
3 straight wins for the reigning Super Bowl champions. The Eagles held off the Packers 10-7 to improve to 7-2 and drop Green Bay to 5-3-1. Green Bay had a chance to force overtime, but Brandon McManus missed a 64-yard field goal attempt to end the game.
That's Jared Max. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
All right, still snowing, and here in Marcy, it's coming down now. We got a couple inches. We got another inch in the last hour. It's the snow. The cars are covered again with snow. They were all cleaned off when I came in. Right now, 26 degrees, still snowing. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. And this news update is brought to you by the new Destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. The Madison County Sheriff's Office investigating a shooting that occurred in the area of 200 North Court Street in the village of Wampsville. Deputies were called to the scene at around 6:45 last evening. They located a 24-year-old man with a gunshot wound to his neck area. He was taken to Upstate University Hospital for treatment of his injuries and is expected to survive. Deputies say that they believe that this was a targeted event and that no outstanding danger to the community exists. The investigation into that shooting is ongoing. New York will soon be designated as a Purple Heart state. Governor Kathy Hochul signing legislation to formally recognize service members wounded or killed in military action. The designation for the state goes into effect in January. The bill received bipartisan support in the Senate and in the Assembly. With the government shutdown now coming to an end, there are still some lingering effects, and it deals primarily with airports. Several flights out of Syracuse Hancock International Airport are being impacted by the federal government shutdown. On Monday, 5 early morning flights were canceled. Those included 2 flights to New York, as well as flights to Atlanta, Detroit, and D.C. Though Hancock was not on the list of airports the FAA was said to be canceling flights, it may have been affected by other flights being canceled at those airports. Of course, New York, Atlanta, Detroit, and D.C. are among the 40 busiest in the country.
I know someone who was flying to Florida on Sunday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and they had to stay over in Chicago until later yesterday.
Chicago is another very popular
because they
one.
didn't have enough people on the flight, like attendants or workers.
That would be a tough thing, right? If you had to keep going to work and your checks were being delayed and you didn't know for how long. All right, and then finally, Mayor Michael Galimi and several members of the city administration kicked off a rehab project of Pixley Park. The money was awarded this year, $1 million grant to preserve the park's historic features while improving accessibility and recreational amenities for residents and visitors. Now, this Pixley Park rehab project actually won't begin until next year. A groundbreaking ceremony is expected in the spring of 2026.
Could I ask you a question? Do you know where that Pixley Park is? Is that in South Utica?
If it's the one I'm thinking of, yes. I'll double check that.
Okay.
WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 7:08.
A winter weather advisory is in effect until 6 p.m. on this Veterans Day. There may be 3 to 7 inches of accumulation as lake effect snow continues. Also, gusty winds out of the west with a high of 37. Another round of snow late tonight with a low in the upper 20s. A change to rain tomorrow with a high of 41. And showers Thursday with a high in the low 40s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, snowing and 26 degrees at 7:09. All right, in sports, Monday Night Football last night. Not much offense, but it was a good game. It came down to the final seconds. It would have been a record for Lambeau Field, a 65-yard field goal, but it was way left. And some controversy, too, is I think both coaches misplayed the final 2 minutes of that game. But anyway, the Eagles go on to a 10-7 victory as they get a win at Lambeau. To the disappointment of our very own Andrew Derminio. Elsewhere in sports, not a surprise to many, the Giants parting ways with head coach Brian Daboll. Assistant coach and offensive coordinator Mike Kafka will now serve as interim coach. Joe Shane remains as the team's general manager, and he will lead the search for a new head coach. The Giants 2-8 so far this season. They're last in the NFC East, and they'll host the Green Bay Packers coming up on Sunday. Go ahead. You're laughing and shaking your head.
They're throwing Mike Kafka into the Wolves' den.
The Lions' den.
The Lions' den.
Well, it's just as bad in the Giants' den.
Imagine if he turns the season around and the Giants go like 5-0 and win the rest of the games. Do you give him the head coaching job? Remove the interim coach from him?
They've got 7 left. If they get 5 wins out of their last 7 games, I probably do. Yes. But you and I both know that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You know,
They got no Scattaboo. They got no
Malik Neighbors.
And Jackson Dart's under concussion protocol.
You're better off putting Jameis Winston in for the rest of the season. Russell Wilson, as you said yesterday, looked absolutely terrible in that game against the Bears.
It's funny because the Cowboys game, Russell Wilson looked like Russell Wilson of 10 years ago. He was dropping them out of the sky, hitting guys in the end zone from 40 yards out.
Well, he hasn't played in a couple weeks. He was
Cowboys
rusty.
Defense is atrocious too, by the way. So I guess that could be part of his success that day. It's not going to happen though. And look, if the Giants could hold a fourth quarter lead, they'd be a 5-5 team right now. And I don't mean they entered the fourth quarter with a 3-point lead. I mean you were beating Dallas by 3 with 25 seconds left. You allowed 33 points in the fourth quarter to Denver to lose that game by 1 point. And then 14 in the final 4 minutes and change this weekend to the Bears.
It's a 15-minute game each quarter, so you got to hold them.
Again, if it was a 3-quarter game or a 3-period game, the Giants would be 5-5. The Jets are going forward at least for about a month without Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver, expected to miss at least 3 to 4 weeks with a right knee sprain. The Jets are 2-7 coming off their second win of the season. They'll visit the New England Patriots coming up on Thursday night. The New England Patriots, can you check this? I can check it in a second. Somebody said something. I almost fell off a chair yesterday. I believe the New England Patriots, and Bill was making this point how it changes every week. It does vary week to week. The New England Patriots are favored to win the AFC?
Yes. They're 2 games up on the Bills.
They're 2 games up on the Bills. Not favored to win the AFC East, to win the AFC, to go to the Super Bowl. They are now.
Oh, wow.
I'll double check that, but one of the sports gurus that I follow was talking about that yesterday.
Wow.
That's a stunner to me. I mean, more than Mahomes and the Chiefs and the Chargers and even Daniel Jones. I mean, the Colts look good most weeks.
And there's the coach.
And even the Bills. I don't care if the Bills win the division. They're a tough team in the playoffs. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
And there's the winner for the Coach of the Year, Mike Vrabel from the New England Patriots.
No, certainly. Yeah, I think that's no doubt about it. Utica Comets at the Adirondack Bank Center tonight?
Yeah, special Veterans Day game. Syracuse comes into town, 5 o'clock.
It's a 5 o'clock start. So if you're going, it's earlier tonight, a 5 o'clock start, although around 5 o'clock the sun will still be down anyway. Boy, that's why I hate the clock
It could be
change.
snowing, too.
It is, get there early. Certainly you want to get there early. And if you're just waking up, you've got some snow out there on your vehicle and possibly in your driveway and in the road as well. It came down this last hour quite a bit. It is 7:13. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Imagine this. You're at your daughter's soccer game. She makes a shot and suddenly goes down in a lot of pain. It's her ankle. As a parent, you know the faster she gets to the right people, the sooner she'll be on her way to recovery. And treating this pain is an emergency. The orthopedic care she needs is just minutes away at Community Memorial. If it's real pain, head to our new emergency room in Hamilton. We have the shortest wait times in the area. We can get pain under control and then quickly get you into one of our world-class specialists at Community Memorial Center for Orthopedics. Whether it's a new injury or long-term joint pain, we also have orthopedic clinics on weekdays in Hamilton, Wednesdays in New Hartford, and Thursdays in Cazenovia with walk-ins welcome. Imagine a healthcare system that's dedicated to getting you to some of the best orthopedic specialists in the area in the shortest time possible. That's Community Memorial Center for Orthopedics. Visit orthoemergency.com.
Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and Clinton. Life can be tough, full of judgment and negativity, but for 30 minutes a day, you can forget all that and focus on yourself. Just like one of our members, Irene, who mentions that everyone's cheering for each other, pushing through the sweat, the tough moments, and even the stuff that feels a little sucky. Irene also mentions finding the strength, the confidence, and a real fitness family here is outstanding. Come join us, embrace the challenge, and find your fitness home at Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and Clinton.
Some firsts you'd like to leave in the rearview mirror. Other firsts are life-changing. 90 years ago, Nokian tires changed driving with our first, the invention of the winter tire. Today, we're still the leader in winter driving with more than 100 patents and 200 days of testing in the Arctic every year. Winter is our first love. Make winter safety your first priority. Nokian tires. First things first. Visit Tolman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tolmanstire.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey, Central New York, this is Will Kane of The Will Kane Show, and you can now hear my show every weekday at WIBX. I do things a little differently when I'm behind the microphone because I turn it over to the listeners to learn and really dig into the issues that impact everyday Americans. The Will Kane Show lets you keep ahead of the headlines and understand what's really going on in the world with in-depth discussions from leading experts and the brightest minds. From politics to sports, nothing is off topic. Listen to The Will Kane Show weekdays at 6, only on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
7:17, First News Keeler in the morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM, and we are streaming this morning on YouTube. Smitty, wave and say hi. How much do you want to do today for the free money question of the day? I think I have it.
$150.
$150.
Sure.
Okay, so yesterday, my question was, President Trump was at a football game yesterday, and actually was on TV a little bit in the broadcast booth. And the question was, when was the last time a sitting U.S. president went to a football game? And the answer was Jimmy Carter in 1978. Here's my clue. My lead into today's question will also involve Jimmy Carter. Okay? That's not the answer, but it will be Jimmy Carter will be part of the question. Anyway, Dr. Ken Hall is on the line with us now. Good morning, Doc. How are you?
Hello.
Hey, Doc. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good. How are you?
Good. Got some snow on the ground here this morning. I hope you're staying nice and warm and you're nice and safe and don't have to do too much shoveling this morning.
Yeah, the first snowstorm of the year, or the first significant snowstorm of the year, is always a dangerous time. I can tell you that the number of people coming to emergency departments with injuries or with heart problems and stuff like that. It always spikes that first significant storm. I'm not sure that this is going to meet that criteria, but it is a warning for people for when that does happen, when we get 6, 8, 10 inches of snow, that if you haven't been out doing physical activity, or if you've got heart conditions and stuff, then you just need to be very, very careful.
Yeah, that's good advice. And if you're on the roads, please. It seems people forget how to drive that first snowfall, and we don't want to see any car accidents today. So just give yourself some extra time. Fortunately, it's Veterans Day, so a lot of things that would typically be open on a weekday are not open today. I know a lot of people are off. So, for instance, schools. I don't remember. Doc, when you went to school, did you have Veterans Day off? I don't remember having Veterans Day off.
I don't remember having it off either. I don't think that we did.
Yeah, my son.
Of course, when I went to school, it was called Armistice Day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My son was messaging me he called me during the football game, and I'm like, why aren't you in bed right now? And he's like, well, I don't have school tomorrow. Well, there's no school tomorrow. I remember going to, maybe it was the day before Veterans Day, but I always remember going to, the auditorium for some type of an event where we would honor veterans, and there would be a speaker. And we would, especially when you're very young, you would either make something for the veterans, or you do some kind of a coloring project, a pro-American kind of a thing. But I don't remember being off on Veterans Day. They have it too easy, Doc. I'll get off my...
Times are changing. What can I tell you?
Times are changing, and I'll get off my soapbox now. So a story in the news today that kind of caught me off guard, I have to tell you. Canada has lost its measles elimination status, and the Pan American Health Organization is saying the United States could be next. Were you aware of this, and what do you make of it?
So I did note that. I will admit I didn't do a deep dive into it to understand exactly what the numbers are, but basically, in very general terms, we basically eradicated measles. We didn't actually eradicate it, but it got down to such a low level that basically it was not a public health problem. And there is a threshold, and again, I don't know exactly what that threshold is, where if a disease, meets that threshold going down, then that means that they go on the list that it has been eradicated. And if it has been on the list, and the number of cases as a percentage of the population starts to go up, then they actually come off that list. And Canada has a much smaller population than the United States, so it doesn't take nearly as many measles cases for them to hit that threshold. But we all know that measles measles cases have been, and people getting measles have been going up fairly dramatically in the United States, mostly in pockets. We saw it in the West Texas, New Mexico area, and in other areas around the United States. But as the concerns about vaccines that have been fomented as they continue to develop and more people become concerned about it and stop vaccinating, then we are in danger of losing that designation as well. Now, the designation is really just a designation. Really, right. What's most important is that means that more people are getting measles. And, measles is not an insignificant disease. There are significant complications up to and including death for people that get measles. And most of the people that get measles are going to be kids, because they're the ones that are not going to be immune. Most adults have already gotten the vaccine. So it is it is a little, I guess it's not yet scary, but it is certainly tenuous.
So, Doc, remind us, because to be honest with you, I don't know. As you say, we didn't eradicate it, but I mean, from a public health standpoint, there was little or no impact, right? People weren't worried about catching measles. What are the health complications from measles?
So, measles, so it's a respiratory virus. It does but it has mostly cutaneous and mucous membrane manifestations. What does that mean? It means you get a rash, and it means that you get swelling and inflammation of the mucous membranes, which is congestion and runny eyes and things like that. However, it can also infiltrate other tissues. The main tissues that you get concerned about are the neurologic tissues, so the brain and the spinal cord. So people can get what's called encephalitis, which is an inflammation of the brain. They can also get measles pneumonia from basically a more pulmonary congestion, and they can also get inflammation of some of the internal organs, the heart. They can get a myocarditis. So those are probably the biggest ones. But there are kids that end up having severe respiratory problems for the rest of their lives because of the damage that's done to their lungs. Obviously, if somebody gets encephalitis, there's not a cure for it. It's really you just have to try to take care of and minimize the swelling and things like that using different types of medications, but it's not like we can give them something that kills the measles virus. There is no known. We do not currently have any kind of a medication like an antiviral or an antibiotic or anything like that would kill the measles virus. So, it's really just supporting the person's own immune system and decreasing the inflammation and things like that until the body can fight it off itself. But those are the kinds of things that are the most concerning from a secondary effect, besides like the primary effects, which is like the minor mucous membrane congestion and the rash and things like that. So that's what we get concerned about, and that's and measles is the most contagious disease known to man.
And how does it spread?
It's a respiratory disease, but it has almost like a 95% attack rate.
Oh my gosh! But when you say respiratory, that's like the air particles and stuff like we saw with COVID and the flu?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
COVID, the flu, what's called the common cold, which is actually a series of 22 or 24 different viruses. Those are all respiratory. That means that it is spread by a respiratory pattern. So it's in like particles, breathing particles that you would breathe out. Somebody else would breathe them in, or they would get on a surface and then somebody would touch them. So yeah.
So if somebody was vaccinated for measles at a young age, and let's say that this was affecting our area, fortunately it's not. As you said, West Texas and New Mexico is kind of one of those pockets that have popped up. We've heard reporting about it for, it seems like, a couple of years now. If you've been vaccinated as a child, how concerned should you be?
So the best data that we have now is that the vaccinations that are given as children are lifelong protection. That's the best that we know now. That does not now. You have to be careful about that, because the reality is that each individual is an individual. And so in general, across the population, the vast majority will be protected for their life. But depending upon what your own immune system does, your protection may wane depending upon what your underlying physiology is. If you have something that actually impedes your immune system, then that could actually increase your chance of getting measles, even though you've been vaccinated.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
This is where the issue of that we heard a lot about during COVID of herd immunity comes in. So if there are enough people around somebody who hasn't been vaccinated that are protected, that have been vaccinated, or that had the disease as a child and then recovered from it, then that person is protected because they won't come in contact with it, because everybody around them is protected. But because of the transmissibility of measles, that the number of people, you need like a 95 to 98% protected rate in order to protect the rest of the other 2% of the population.
Okay, and this question, I hope it does not come across as xenophobic, but I just wonder, I'm asking, do we know the source of this? Are there situations in other countries where vaccines are not maybe mandated, and just because the southern border, when you said Texas and New Mexico, that was my thought. I know this was an issue during COVID where at least some people were saying that the people coming into the country weren't vaccinated for COVID, and I'm just wondering how vaccines are handled in other countries compared to the United States. Do we know the source of this particular outbreak you're talking about in Texas and New Mexico? And two separate questions, that one, and then how do other countries handle measles, or is it pretty standard globally?
Well, it's the public health precepts for it are definitely standard globally. However, each individual country has, whatever resources that they have. And so some, may have more resources to be able to actually, get the vaccine out and things like that. I will also say that there was a cluster in southern New York among a conservative Jewish population that also developed measles because they also did not believe in vaccinating. So it wasn't just that. The one in West Texas was a larger group, but there can be from an other country standpoint, there can certainly be resources and things like that, but there can also be religious reasons.
Yeah.
And then there are just the people who don't, who are concerned about vaccines in general because of what's been going on and what's been, put out to the public over the last, several years. So it's really multifactorial. But I would not say that there is no evidence now that the outbreak in West Texas was caused by immigration or by immigrants. That population that got it was actually a population that was known to not follow normal vaccination policies. So,
absolutely. And again, I did not intend to suggest that before people get on my case and start throwing labels at me. I just thought it was worth asking. So, Dr. Kent Hall, thank you as always. We check in with the doc weekly. And it seems like something there's always worth talking about, and we get our information from you, and we really appreciate it.
Sounds good, everybody. And remember, it is still time to get your flu and your COVID vaccines. So please be doing that if you haven't, because we want to make sure that we decrease the chance of people getting sick. And please just be safe.
Absolutely. Thank you, Doc. Dr. Kent Hall joining us. He joins us on Tuesday mornings it seems like we have more and more topics to talk to him about each and every week. It is Veterans Day, 11/11. It's 7:31. We'll check news, come back with your free money question of the day. Lance has sent a couple of messages that I think I need to get to. And I think we have breaking news here. We'll get to that. I need to double check a couple things here, but I believe we have a relevant news story we'll get to. Stay tuned. It's First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Whatever you need to haul, landscaping tools, heavy construction gear, or even livestock, Clinton Tractor has the trailer for the job. Choose steel, aluminum, or galvanized frames from 500 pounds to 55 tons with trusted names like B-Wise, Eager Beaver, and EB. For trailers, parts, and service you can count on, visit the Caledona family at Clinton Tractor.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
ClintonTractor.net.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free, so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
Still snowing, 26 degrees. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:34. The Senate voted to end the record-long government shutdown, approving a bipartisan plan to reopen federal agencies. The 60 to 40 vote saw 8 Democrats join Republicans to break the deadlock. The bill, which includes full funding for SNAP benefits through next September and a stopgap budget through January 30th, now heads to the House for a vote expected tomorrow. President Trump has already signaled his support for the measure. Flight disruptions, however, continue and, in fact, are getting worse nationwide as the FAA cuts flights due to staff shortages tied to the shutdown. Delays jumped to more than 9,000 on Monday, with 2,400 cancellations and further reductions expected through Friday. Veterans Day demonstrations planned today as veterans groups protest the Trump administration. Organized by Vets Say No and Mayday Strong, the rallies take place in cities across the U.S., including California, New York, and Washington, D.C. Organizers say they're speaking out against ICE, fascism, military occupation, and cuts to veterans' services. Canada has lost its measles elimination status, and the U.S. could be next. The Pan American Health Organization made the move after Canada's outbreak lasted more than a year, warning the U.S. could follow in January if it doesn't step up to stop its own outbreak. Measles cases began in Texas and have now spread to several states, fueled by falling vaccination rates. And a new study finds that coffee may help protect against irregular heartbeats. Research presented at the American Heart Association shows that just 1 cup a day could reduce the risk of atrial fibrillation, or AFib, recurrence, a condition affecting more than 10 million Americans and linked to heart failure and blood clots. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:36. Your forecast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net.
A winter weather advisory is in effect until 6 p.m. on this Veterans Day. There may be 3 to 7 inches of accumulation as lake effect snow continues. Also gusty winds out of the west with a high of 37. Another round of snow late tonight with a low in the upper 20s. A change to rain tomorrow with a high of 41. And showers Thursday with a high in the low 40s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, snowing and 27 at 7:37.
You want to do free money here?
If you want to do it now, we can do it now.
Sure.
Let me actually, you know what? Let's wait till 45.
Okay.
What did you say, 150 today?
Yeah.
All right, let me read a couple of comments first. I'll get to Lance in a second. So John in Deerfield says, hearing about startup time theft reminds me of when I worked in retail and was always told you have to get to work and set up a stocking cart to be ready to stock items when your shift started. So this is in reference to that Bank of America story that I mentioned. They're looking for a class action status essentially because this sounds more like when people were working from home or those that work from home. In order to get into the Bank of America system and to be ready to work, there were several things that they had to run on their computers. In some cases, it could take up to 30 minutes. Multi-factor authentication was mentioned as one thing. There were also programs and security programs that needed to be run before the employees logged in. And then from there, after they did all that, they could access the system that allowed them to clock in. And then, as I mentioned, sometimes it could be as much as 30 minutes for updates and authentication, et cetera. And then at the end of the day, logging out, the things they had to do, it could take 3 to 5 minutes. So I gave the example that in some cases, 3 to 5 minutes a day for a week is 15 minutes, and that's an hour a month and 12 hours a year. I mean, it does add up over time. So what John in Deerfield says, I always believed that stocking the cart to stock the shelves was work and should be paid time. This may have been the world 30 years ago, but it's not the world anymore. And I agree with him. All right, Lance and Lee. Lance apparently thought I went a little soft on Mike Galimi yesterday because he thinks I'm a big Mike Galimi supporter.
Holding his water, as he usually says.
Carrying it. I don't hold the water. I carry it. I'm a big guy. They put me to work. He says, so Jeff, I took a ride through your parking lot. After yesterday's interview, I'm assuming your vehicle is the one with the elect Mike Galimi sticker on it. I don't know that anybody in the building has an elect Mike Galimi sticker, a bumper sticker. I don't know that they exist at all. I'm not saying anybody's anti-Galimi, or Galim. But I don't even know that those elect Mike Galimi stickers exist. So, Lance, I'm assuming you thought I went. First of all, we were talking about funding sources and the economic development monies the city of Utica is looking to get from New York State. So we focused primarily on that. Is he saying I wasn't critical enough, or was it about the bed tax, that I didn't go after him on the bed tax? And again, Lance, I wish you would call in so we could have a conversation about this. But what I did say that was supportive of the bed tax was that when you have a revenue stream, and I don't want to sound like I'm talking out both sides of my mouth because I'm not in favor of new sources of taxation or fees because people just get hit over the head. But this is a situation where people from outside the area, typically, and probably 90% or better of the cases, would be paying that fee, and that goes to our government, that they could use the money for plowing, paving, whatever the government deems to use it for. Unfortunately, what comes with that is sometimes people say, well, they just waste the money and they don't, actually use it for a particular program that's considered essential, so it doesn't actually prevent a tax increase. However, it's a new source of revenue, and it's paid for primarily by people who are not from this area. You have events, whether it's college teams or pro teams coming in, for hockey at the Adirondack Bank Center or tournaments at the Nexus Center. Look, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure whether it's Florida, Las Vegas, places that you go to travel, they hit you with whatever they call it. It's essentially a fee that lowers the tax burden for the people who live in that community. So all the tourists who come in, let's say for like Vegas, for instance, and I don't know if they do it in the form of a bed tax, exactly how that works. They're grabbing small percentages from you. And again, as we said, those things add up, and it becomes less of a burden for the community that is the home community. So is that that I should have gone after him more for that? I don't understand. So feel free to call. I guess you can message in, but I'd appreciate it if you called so we can actually have the conversation. And then he says, during your off-air conversations with the mayor, who does he think I am? On air, he said that, and this is again Lance, he's talking about Mayor Galimi. He says, on air, he said that I'm very informed. You notice he didn't say that I was spreading lies. Okay, that's fair. And then one more from Lance this morning. Please take extra precautions if you're going to the hockey game today. Usually the police are walking the dogs around that time. They are the only police force around that doubles as dog walkers while on duty. Well, if there's a better way to handle it, I guess he could send in the suggestion. But if you have canine units, those dogs need to be walked, right? It's probably best that they're walked with their handler, right? Lance is critical of it. I mean, ask questions. I get it, but you don't have to. What? Who else commented? You can read it. Go ahead.
Lance, again, you probably have it on there.
The most important for him that I felt was left this past election was the referendum on his administration. That's all. Yeah, it could have been a referendum on his administration. Yeah, it could have been. Didn't I ask him that? Because Lance sent a message like that. I thought I brought it up to him. Maybe I didn't. Anyway, Lance, appreciate the comments. John in Deerfield, thank you as well. You can chime in via the WIBX 950 app. Any comments on Facebook? None today, but you can comment there as well. Just search Keeler Live Show, and every day we're on, the show streams live on YouTube. We'll take caller number 7. Actually, let's go. It's 11/11 Veterans Day. Let's go caller 11. Sorry, Davey. I apologize. Caller 11, your chance at $150. It's First News, Keeler in the Morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
Not sure what to get him this holiday? You can't go wrong with a gift from Untuck It. Every guy wants to unwrap our best-selling, wrinkle-free, and performance styles. From polished shirts for holiday parties to cozy layers for family photos, you'll find everything he needs to look sharp and feel comfortable all day and night. So, get a head start on your holiday gift list. Early holiday sale happening now. Find the perfect gift for everyone on your list at untuckit.com and more than 80 stores worldwide. Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn, untucked.
Frontotemporal degeneration, or FTD, causes uncharacteristic personality changes, apathy, and unexplained struggles with decision-making, movement, speaking, or language comprehension. It's often misdiagnosed as bipolar disorder, depression, and sometimes just a midlife crisis. Learn more this World FTD Awareness Week by visiting the Association for Frontotemporal Degeneration at theaftd.org.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Whatever you need to haul, landscaping tools, heavy construction gear, or even livestock, Clinton Tractor has the trailer for the job. Choose steel, aluminum, or galvanized frames from 500 pounds to 55 tons with trusted names like B-Wise, Eager Beaver, and EB. For trailers, parts, and service you can count on, visit the Caledona family at Clinton Tractor.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
ClintonTractor.net.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
So we got 10 callers. Smitty needs one more. Next caller through, your chance at $150 from the Hobica Law Firm. The Hobica Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobica, Genesee Street in Utica. 315-736-0186 is our number if you'd like a chance to win that $150. Did I lose my question here? You got him? Who is it?
Mark from Rome.
All right, Mark from Rome. What did I do with my question here? Okay, hang on. Wait, it's over here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find it. I saved it, and then I put it away, and now I've lost it.
Thanks for trying, got a winner. Already got one.
I'm struggling here. I've lost my question.
It's still snowing out there pretty good.
It is snowing pretty good. Did you go clean your car off again?
No.
Okay, Mark, good morning. How are you?
Hi. Yeah, good morning. How's it going? Yeah, it's snowing good.
It is coming down better than I expected. All right, so here is your question. It's a presidential question, and I mentioned a clue, and the clue was Jimmy Carter. Here's the question. Jimmy Carter was the oldest living United States president. He lived to be 100 years old. Who was the second oldest? Ready, go.
Ronald Reagan?
No, it was not Ronald Reagan. You got to give me one more.
I don't know.
All right. The answer was George H.W. Bush. He lived to be 94 years old. So thank you for playing this morning. You win a $25 all-in-one food and fun gift card. You can use it at places like Taylor and the Cook, Babes, Cookies, Q and Creamery. You can use it at the Adirondack Bank Center. You can use it at the concessions there or in the gift shop. So I appreciate you playing this morning. And hang on the line. Our man Smitty's got to get your information.
All right, sounds great, guys.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. You too. And I hope all veterans out there have a great Veterans Day. Smitty, can I play this? I'm going to try to play this. Do you know where this comes up?
Is Veterans Day.
Thank you for your service.
The Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines,
and the Coast Guard.
Thank you for your service.
Today is Veterans Day.
Thank you for your service.
A day to honor all military service members.
Honor military servicemen and women.
Service and sacrifice.
Risk their lives for their country. Thank you for your service. So let's say a big thank you
To all the veterans.
Happy Veterans Day.
Showtime.
All right, it is Veterans Day, 11/11, some snow on the ground. You could just gently fade that for me, bud. Smitty's doing too many things this morning. He's answering the phone. He's taking caller information. You know, some snow on the ground tonight is a cool thing. I'm actually going to the Stanley.
Oh, to see the Christmas Story tonight?
To see A Christmas Story, and I think this will add to the atmosphere a little bit.
That's a great musical. I've seen it.
Oh, you have?
Yes, I have.
I can't wait to see it. I'm taking my little guy tonight.
You'd be seeing the guy with the tongue on the. Have you ever seen the movie?
Of course.
Yeah.
I've seen it 100 times, I bet you. Yeah, where his tongue gets stuck to the pole. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, Dawn in New Hartford is clapping back at Lance. Lance is the perfect example of the loony left. All he does is complain. He makes up stories and his opinions. No one cares. Lance, nor will anyone believe you. Your head is definitely up your butt. That's some harsh words for Dawn. I do think Lance usually has some good information. I don't know that I always agree with his opinions. Lance commenting, he says it's the dog pound dogs that are being walked, not the canines. I don't know anything about that, Lance. All right, something I want to mention, and this is a story out of the city of Utica. Forgive me because I was just sent this morning, so I don't have a ton of information on it, and I don't know that I have a complete understanding of it. Essentially, someone sent me some screenshots here that are a lawsuit, I believe a $2 million lawsuit against the city of Utica. And what this deals with is an alleged conflict of interest. Okay, this is what this says. Dear members of the Board of Ethics to the city of Utica, I am submitting this complaint formally to request an investigation into the potential conflict of interest and misuse of public resources involving attorneys currently or formerly employed by the City of Utica Corporation Counsel's office. I believe this is specifically David Longaretta, who we recently spoke to because he represented
Nicholas Keefer in the Mid-State Correctional Facility. And I also believe, yes, he is.
Thank you,
He
Smitty.
did.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was referring to. Okay, here's what it says. Specifically, court records in Carcone v. Noon and the Utica Paid Firemen's Relief Association identify attorney David A. Longaretta, attorney Zachary Oren, and attorney Joseph McBride as representing James Noon and or the Utica Paid Firemen's Relief Association during the period of litigation. Public records confirm that these individuals were employed by or associated with the City of Utica Corporation Counsel as assistant corporation counsel during the same period. The Utica Paid Firemen's Relief Association is not a city department. It is a separate benevolent organization, and the representation of Mr. Noon and the association does not appear to be related to official city business. If corporation counsel attorneys perform this work during city hours or using city resources, it would constitute a misuse of public resources and a violation of New York General Municipal Law 805 and the City of Utica Code of Ethics. Documentary evidence attached as Exhibit A, March 6, 2024, Supreme Court hearing in Carcone v. Noon and the Utica Paid Firemen's Relief Association confirms that attorney David Longaretta appeared as assistant corporation counsel for the City of Utica while serving as an attorney for defendants Noon and the Relief Association. This shows that a city attorney in his official municipal capacity represented non-city defendants in private litigation. Let's see here. Go ahead, Smitty. You giving me a time? All right. Respectfully request, yada, yada, yada. So this particular thing is a complaint that involves an ethics investigation. I don't know that this is specifically the lawsuit. I think I've got multiple pages here coming in. And I'm sorry, this is happening live here as I'm being sent this information. This excerpt demonstrates that attorney David Longaretta was serving in his official municipal capacity as assistant corporation counsel for the City of Utica while simultaneously representing private defendants James Noon and the Utica Paid Firemen's Relief Association, a non-city entity. This is from Ryan Quinn, President, Utica Paid Firemen's Relief Association. This excerpt, this constitutes clear evidence of a potential conflict of interest, misuse of public position, and violation of applicable ethics and professional conduct rules, including New York General Municipal Law 805. Okay, so that was sent to us this morning. I was not aware that this was going on, so a potential conflict of interest is being alleged, and we will reach out to the affected parties there to see if they would like to comment. It is 7:55. I guess I need some more time to review this before I
do 50.
Do 55-50?
No, 56-50.
All right. Coming up next hour, we'll chat briefly with Ben Simons. He's stopping in. Hope he makes it here through all the snow. We'll talk about what's on tap. I also want an update on beef prices. The last time we spoke to him, he was kind of sounding the alarm that beef prices were going to be up through the roof.
And he wanted to talk about Thanksgiving prices, too, for dinner.
Yeah, absolutely. We will do it. We'll take your questions as well. It's First News, Keeler in the Morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. Bill is back tomorrow. Manaski and Smitty holding the fort down today. We'll be back after this.
Frontotemporal degeneration, or FTD, causes uncharacteristic personality changes, apathy, and unexplained struggles with decision-making, movement, speaking, or language comprehension. It's often misdiagnosed as bipolar disorder, depression, and sometimes just a midlife crisis. Learn more this World FTD Awareness Week by visiting the Association for Frontotemporal Degeneration at theaftd.org.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you gotta hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread. and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
When it comes to the ones we love, their comfort and dignity matter most. That is why hospice and palliative care is here for you. When you want your loved ones' wishes to be honored, when you want them to be comfortable, safe, and secure, and when you want them to be wherever they call home, hospice and palliative care is the right choice. Our team of professional doctors, nurses, social workers, and bereavement counselors are dedicated to providing compassionate care every step of the way. At hospice, your loved one is not alone, and neither are you. We are just a phone call away, ready to support you through this journey. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison County for the comfort and dignity your loved ones deserve. For more information, visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call us today at 315-735-6484. Hospice and Palliative Care, Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties.
When you need us most.
Diane from Michigan, a disabled senior citizen trying to get by. Henry from Florida, a veteran fighting to make ends meet. Elena from Arizona, a mother struggling to feed her daughter. Hi, I'm Connie Britton, and I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year, like Diane, Henry, and Elena. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
It took 41 days for this to happen. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
On this vote, the ayes are 60. The nays are 40.
The Senate finally approving the funding that would reopen the government. And Republican Senator Lindsey Graham praised on Fox the Democrats who broke a filibuster Sunday and voted with him again.
You had 8 senators like Senator Fetterman who put the country ahead of party, and I cannot thank him and the other 7 enough. They did the country a great service.
By doing that, Democrats did not get what they demanded in the bill, extending Obamacare subsidies that expire at the end of the year, making coverage more expensive for millions of Americans.
The left is fuming at Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, even though he did not cave and vote yes. Democrats say they will stick to their demand for credits to offset the cost of health care. Senate Majority Leader John Thune promises a health care vote in December, but there is no guarantee from House Speaker Mike Johnson.
Now, President Trump tells Fox's Laura Ingraham Republicans are working on this plan.
Where the people buy their own health insurance, it's so good. The insurance will be better. It'll cost less. Everybody's going to be happy.
Tomorrow, the House is expected to pass the bill to fund the government through January. It would also fund the military and SNAP food assistance through next September. But until that's approved and signed into law, air travel remains difficult, with nearly 1,200 flights canceled today, 600 plus delayed. Air traffic controllers, some still calling out sick.
We're learning that 5.2 million passengers have been affected by these disruptions of the government shutdown since October 1st.
And Fox Business Network's Kelly Saberi also reports from Chicago's O'Hare Airport that shutdown's affecting future flights, too.
The sale of Thanksgiving week flights has also slowed. In the first week of November, Cirium says that number of people shopping for their Thanksgiving tickets has significantly dropped.
It's a chilly Veterans Day for a lot of Americans. Freeze warnings across the South, Texas to Florida to the Carolinas. America's listening to Fox News.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the cost of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, The point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Well, most kids are not going to school this morning as we honor veterans on this day.
You can trace this day's remembrances back to November 11th, 1919, the first Armistice Day, to remember those who then President Woodrow Wilson said died in the country's service in World War I. In 1954, Congress renamed it Veterans Day to honor those who serve in every branch. Today, Americans all over value that commitment. From Detroit,
they're defending that big word. A big word is democracy.
To Washington, D.C.
We need to make sure this continues through generation, so it's never forgotten.
Today, active duty, the National Guard, and reserves number more than 2 million. We thank them all for their service. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Well, there's a doctor in the Army not being thanked for his service. Instead, he's being sued for what he's accused of doing in Texas.
The lawsuit says Dr. Blaine McGraw, an Army major, took secret videos and pictures of female patients and conducted unnecessary and invasive examinations. McGraw was suspended from the Fort Hood Medical Facility last month. The lawsuit says Army criminal investigators have found thousands of videos and images, possibly involving hundreds of patients. It also says Army leadership knew about and dismissed complaints about the doctor at Fort Hood and an Army medical center in Hawaii. The plaintiff in this case is the spouse of an active duty service member. Her attorney says he also represents 45 other alleged victims. Chris Foster, Fox News.
Now, on this Veterans Day, there's no mail. Banks are closed, but Wall Street's open for business. The day after a big surge, the Dow rose 381 points. The NASDAQ gained 522. Monday Night Football was a kick away from overtime.
Here we go. Snap was low, and the kick no chance. And this game belongs to Philadelphia.
The Eagles beat the Packers 10-7 on ESPN after that long Green Bay field goal attempt at the last second went way wide left. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Still snowing, 27 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. This news update is brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. The Madison County Sheriff's Office investigating a shooting that occurred near North Court Street in the village of Wamsville. Deputies arriving on the scene located a 24-year-old man with a gunshot wound to his neck area. He was transported to Upstate University Hospital for treatment and is expected to survive. Information gathered at the scene indicates that the shooting was a targeted event, so authorities say that there is currently no outstanding danger to the community. The investigation into that shooting incident is ongoing. New York State is soon to be designated as a Purple Heart state. Governor Kathy Hochul signed legislation to formally recognize service members wounded or killed in military action. That designation for the state does go into effect in January. The bill received bipartisan support from the state Senate and the state Assembly. Utica Mayor Michael Galimi announcing the rehabilitation kickoff for Pixley Park, which is located in West Utica, not far from Donovan Middle School. The meeting marks the official start of the city's work under a $1 million grant recently approved by New York State to support the park's restoration and enhancement. The project aims to preserve the park's historic features while improving accessibility and recreational amenities for residents and visitors. Further updates on the Pixley Park rehab project will be shared in the spring of 2026, which is when ground is expected to be broken. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:07. Still snowing in 27. Here's your forecast.
A winter weather advisory is in effect until 6 p.m. on this Veterans Day. There may be 3 to 7 inches of accumulation as lake effect snow continues. Also gusty winds out of the west with a high of 37. Another round of snow late tonight with a low in the upper 20s. A change to rain tomorrow with a high of 41. And showers Thursday with a high in the low 40s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
snowing, and 27. The Giants moving on from Brian Daboll. The G-Men fired their former head coach on Monday. Now assistant head coach and offensive coordinator Mike Kafka will serve as the interim head man. Joe Shane stays on as the team's general manager and will lead the search for the Giants' next head coach. So far, Big Blue is 2-8 this season. They host the Green Bay Packers coming up on Sunday. The Packers fell at home to the Eagles last night, a final of 10-7 on Monday Night Football from Lambeau Field to close out Week 10 of the NFL regular season. Here to comment on it is a partial owner of the Green Bay Packers. According to Smitty, he owns 1%, which I almost fell off my chair this morning. Good morning to our man, Andrew Dominio. How are you?
Well, I don't know if you can call it a good morning as I sit here in my office with my share of the team here sitting behind me in my office. I've already made the call to Ed Policy about really considering making a coaching change here midway through the season.
Oh, are you? Is it going to be like the Giants? Are you making moves? You're going to keep the GM and fire the head coach?
See, that's the tricky part. I don't know because Gutekunst did make the Parsons trade. There's no doubt the Green Bay defense is very good, right? Even in those pathetic games they've lost, they only held Carolina to 16, could only score 13 points, and they held the Philadelphia Eagles to 10 points.
Yeah.
So I just that's the frustrating part is the play calling from Matt LaFleur is abysmal. Jordan Love's one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the league, and I've been giving him the benefit of the doubt. Trust me, I have been 100% giving him the benefit of the doubt. But it's my Yankees fan mentality that I go from one mediocrity in baseball season to the next, and it's a little frustrating.
Andrew, the Yankees make the playoffs every year. They're better than mediocre. Okay.
I know we won't get into that.
I know you want a championship. I totally get it, but you're in the playoffs every year. The other thing is this. The Packers at one point this season were kind of emerging as the favorites in the NFC. I don't know that that's the case now. I mean, obviously they just lost to the Eagles, but
well, no, everybody thought that because you have Micah Parsons, you have added to an already stellar defense.
Yeah,
and the hype was overblown and just getting everybody's hopes up. And I should have known better. I kind of fell for the trap of that. But then,
hang on. In your defense, let me say this though: when that deal happened, everybody was like, I'm not talking the Packers community. NFL fans were like, what is Jerry Jones doing? I mean, what you get? You gave up, what, a 6th round pick? It's not much.
It was a first round, but, typically, although this year is up for debate, usually it's a late round pick. Although, we keep playing like this, we'll be having the Cowboys pick early in the draft in the first round. But, we also gave up another defensive player. I'm blanking on his name. Kenny Clark.
Yeah.
But, the fact of the matter is that there is some shred of benefit of the doubt I will give him that. Luke Musgrave Tucker Kraft goes down last week with a devastating ACL tear.
Yeah.
He's our best player on offense, which then impacts the rest of the defensive play calling for the other team because he's a threat. He's gone. Matthew Golden, who's their stud rookie, is out. Romeo Doubs goes out late in the game. They have Christian Watson, who's only played one game this year because he tore his ACL last year. Jaden Reed is on injury. So a lot of those big stud wide receivers are gone. And maybe that is what makes Matt LaFleur's offense a little bit stagnant or predictable. But I feel like that's been his MO forever. He's soft. He's not aggressive when he needs to be. But then again, Jordan Love with the mistakes. Like, what was he doing with that fumble yesterday? He just kind of floated the air. Let the ball go. Like, he didn't even try to do a forward pass. He just kind of let it go.
Yeah, that was ugly.
So,
and then in the final 2 minutes there, I thought he had Christian Watson. They talked about it. If he led him toward the sideline, he had the defender beat.
I know.
If he led him toward the sideline, they would have completed that pass and could have set up for a game-tying field goal at worst. The way that game ended last night, it was terrible.
Yeah, and Nick
Both teams.
Sirianni basically, it's almost like Nick Sirianni knew how bad LaFleur was and said, you know what, I'm going to give this guy a chance, knowing that he'll probably screw it up. Because I've, been watching like the Tuesday morning Facebook posts and social media posts, and basically it says, the Philadelphia defensive player called out the play and he moved the line, he shifted the line down a little bit. Well, who didn't know that Josh Jacobs was going to try to bounce to the outside and run? I mean, it's the same thing they do all the time. I mean, do the tush push. You're playing the Eagles, that would have been kind of ironic. Just terrible play calling. And, I'm trying to still be optimistic because, you never know what's going to happen, especially this season. I mean, when you've got, dare I even say it, the Bears are relevant, Indianapolis Colts playing well. A lot of teams that are not usually relevant are in the mix. It's been a crazy season nonetheless.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you calling in to check in and get your reaction from last night's game. I thought you were there. I was fooled by a Facebook post. That was actually from a couple of years ago when you and the family went out to Lambeau.
In Philadelphia for that game, which was brutal because their fans are the worst. Sorry, Eagles fans, you are, and you know it. They are literally the worst fans in football. And I've been to a Bills game against the Packers, so I can say that they are not. The Philadelphia Eagles are the worst. But I will say this one last thing about the Eagles is that they continue to have our number, and I think that a lot of it is that mentally, some teams just can't beat other teams for some reason. And when you hold that offense to 10, their offense did not play well, but they're stacked. You got Saquon Barkley, you got AJ.
He was
Brown,
walking
Devontae
around
Smith.
the whole fourth quarter just shaking his head. He was shaking his head the whole fourth quarter, Saquon.
Yeah, you hold the Eagles to 10 points. You should have scored at least another touchdown. I just don't get it.
So, thanks for calling in again. And what was I going to leave you with? Oh, what you want is a situation like the Chiefs have with the Bills. Every time you play them in the regular season, you lose, but when you play them when it matters, you win. That's the kind of relationship you want with the Eagles.
That would be nice.
Give them the wins. Give them the wins in November. Take them in January. So, Andrew, thank you.
Exactly.
Good to hear your voice,
All right,
man.
Jeff. Yep, Smitty, good to talk to you both.
All right. That is the 1% owner of the Green Bay Packers. Not quite 1% owner, Andrew Dominio. We've got Farmer Ben in studio, and we'll touch base on the On Point event that is coming up soon. Kevin Markin is in the building. It's First News Keeler in the morning on WI.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Scott and Jill here from New York Sash to tell you about our $25,000 home improvement giveaway.
You can enter to win $25,000 in new windows, siding, bath, or doors professionally installed by New York Sash. And we'll pick the winner live at the Nexus Center this February.
Just think about all the home renovations you could do with $25,000. Gorgeous, energy-efficient windows, stunning vinyl siding, a new bath remodel, or an entry door.
One lucky homeowner in Central New York will win, so why not you? There's no purchase necessary, but you have to be in it to win it.
So enter the $25,000 home improvement giveaway today at NewYorkSash.com/win. That's NewYorkSash.com/win, or enter in person at our showroom at 349 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro.
And you can be the lucky winner of the $25,000 home improvement giveaway from New York Sash at the Home Show.
Some firsts you'd like to leave in the rearview mirror. Other firsts are life-changing. 90 years ago, Nokian Tires changed driving with our first, the invention of the winter tire. Today, we're still the leader in winter driving with more than 100 patents and 200 days of testing in the Arctic every year. Winter is our first love. Make winter safety your first priority. Nokian Tires. First things first. Visit Tolman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tolmanstire.com.
Stand Up to Cancer asked leading cancer researchers to speak about why they do their work.
Two words come to mind for me. One is responsibility, the other is purpose.
It's just so inspiring to do research that impacts human lives.
Stand Up to Cancer has been a critical partner in advancing research for cancer.
Cancer research saves lives.
So please, help us fight in this battle against cancer.
Be a part of the team that ends cancer at standuptocancer.org.
He digs, he turns, he dives. It is a touchdown. It is a touchdown.
The NFL is on Westwood One.
Uncorks a deep ball downfield into the end zone. A crowd is there, and it is caught. Touchdown. Miraculous.
The NFL plays here all season long on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, we are back here. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Bill is back with us tomorrow. Manaski and Smitty here holding down the fort. In studio joining us is Kevin Markin from On Point Utica. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Wonderful. Thanks so much for having me on the show.
Oh, absolutely. Nice and tight on that. You got to be nice and tight on that mic. You can pull it right towards you. There you go. So for those who aren't familiar with it, On Point for College provides students with comprehensive services to help them overcome barriers and empower their success and also fulfill their potential. Give us an idea of the kind of things that On Point can do to help local students.
On Point provides very comprehensive support. One example to help make it clear how much is we even have dentists that provide free pro bono dental care if they don't have dental insurance. So we help a couple of thousand students around the area, about over 1,000 that have graduated, another 1,000 that are ones that we continue to help with their careers, and more getting ready to go. And so some of the other things that we provide are help with them fill out all the financial forms, going to the colleges, we take them on tours. We help fill out the college application forms. If they have other career paths that they want to get a certificate or training or other things, we help network them up with that. If they want to get into the military, whatever their career choice might be, we try to help them forward their dreams. And we go to the colleges, see them while they're at the colleges, help them with resumes, internships, whatever it is on the list. We have mentoring, we have tutoring. So it's, again, extraordinarily comprehensive.
Yeah, it sounds like it. That's great. The supportive and the prep services going in and making sure applications are done correctly, and some of the supplemental services you mentioned are great, but also once you're there, getting internships is another great opportunity to learn while you're still getting the education.
Great point. And they also get to explore the fields. Most students change majors while they're in college 3 to 4 times. One way to help expedite them finding out exactly what's the best niche for them is to get into those internships so they find out first, and they get great knowledge and information that can really help them when they're hearing material in school. They can really, when they've actually worked in the field and done it and developed people with mentors and good job experience. So it's a tremendous opportunity and a great thing for local employers. Sometimes they can find those fantastic employees that they're looking for with great skills and education. So internships are a critical part of what we do.
Absolutely. How does this work as far as the students that you target and you seek to help? Who is eligible?
We have broad range of eligibility. We target out especially lower income, first generation students, ones with the most need, single moms, former foster youth, whatever, but we help everyone that comes in the door. We don't always just sign up. The numbers I gave were the ones that we sign up. If somebody comes in as, gee, my daughter can't decide which of these 3 or 4 graduate schools to go to, then we help her decide which ones, but we don't sign her up. Somebody else says, gee, my husband and I have spent all weekend with our son trying to complete the FAFSA form, but we just can't do it. We don't need any help on anything other than just help us with the FAFSA form. We're well off and we just can't figure out how to do the FAFSA. And so we'll do the FAFSA form, but not sign them up. So that's why we kind of, and also too, we're not a government, we're a nonprofit. And so we have flexibility. So if somebody comes in and say, gee, I'm living in my car with my daughter, my husband has a gambling problem, and we never see any of the money. We're going to the food bank for food. We're in terrible shape. Even though he's got a good income, we never see any of it. We have the flexibility to be able to help that student and not be penalized because there's an addiction problem that the parent has with gambling. We can still help. And so that's why we have the flexibility to take a look at each individual case, help each one. One student may be all set to go to school. They've tapped and Pell, the state and federal will help them cover it going to a school like MVC, SUNY Poly, or whatever, maybe fully covered if they're living. Another student with a single mom with 5 kids trying to make a better life for a family, getting a certificate, she may need more help because you have issues such as childcare, which we always have solved thus far, other issues. And so each individual student needs to be looked at individually and helped, and that's exactly what we do.
In the last dozen years, On Point for College Utica has helped more than 2,200 first-generation Utica area adults overcome obstacles. Over 1,000 students have already graduated with the help of On Point for College in the Utica region, with several hundred more currently in colleges and universities. That's a great job. You have a dinner coming up on Thursday night. Tell us about it.
The dinner coming up on Thursday night honors some of the wonderful people that make this all possible. We couldn't do it without community partners, people that donate their time and the efforts, the people that do the mentoring and speaker orientation like Bill and Joan Blanchfield, people who are great community partners, corporate partners like Savneet Singh, the CEO of PAR Technology, other ones that are wonderful ones that help out too are like Randall Van Wagner, Dr. Van Wagner, who's president of MVCC. They're a wonderful partner. Mike Aiello from SUNY Poly, Dave Cabney on a corporate end, the regional president for NBT Bank. All these types of people are wonderful individuals who help make everything possible. And we've got wonderful sponsors, a couple of dozen of those, including Community Bank and the Fountainhead Group. They're wonderful partners with us, helping make all this possible. It's at Harts Hill Inn on November 13th, this Thursday at 5:30. Tickets are $75. And again, about $50 of that goes directly to the students. The tickets are available at onpointforcollege, all one word, .org/celebration. That's onpointforcollege.org/celebration. And we tremendously appreciate the community support. You hear wonderful stories too from the students. And we have several student awardees that will also kind of keep under wraps until the event. And then they get a chance to hear the wonderful stories about those students. And we have a great student speaker. That's Dwayne Ingram, who is works on the YWCA Amend Together program, helping prevent domestic violence by working with prevention with young boys and men. And so it's a wonderful way that our students get out and help do great things in the community. One other one we have is the New York State Assistant Secretary of Education for Higher Education, Danielle McMullen, who's a wonderful partner, and she's coming to also speak. So it's a wonderful evening and a great thing to, again, help out those students to forward their educational and career dreams.
And again, that's this Thursday night, 5:30 at Harts Hill Inn in Whitesboro. You mentioned Danielle McMullen. She's the State Assistant Secretary for Education, Higher Education here in New York State. And tickets available on the website.
Yes.
onpointforcollege.org.
onpointforcollege.org at the website. And if you put /celebration, it'll take you right there. And in 2 minutes or less, you'll be all set for a wonderful evening with, again, our young people that are our future and other great community members who very much deserve to be honored for their great work in helping those students.
Again, tickets are $75. About $50 of that goes right to the cause to help out. So that's great.
Right.
Ben?
Yeah, Jeff, I had a question. Farmer Ben here. How you doing, Mark?
Yes.
Mark, I think this is tremendous.
Kevin.
I'm sorry,
I'm
sorry,
Kevin.
I'm always proud of that because my dad went by Mark, and so I always get a big smile and remember my father and that. So it's actually made my morning. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin, the brochure you brought in is very intriguing to me. But do you ever have students or dairy industries come to you saying they're looking for people, or these students are looking to get into the agriculture world? And how do you help the agriculture part?
That's a great question. We do. We help students, whatever their educational dreams are. And in the recent years, we started out when the New York State said, gee, you've got the best program in the country in Syracuse where they started it. And then when it came to Utica, we started in the city. But then we said, there's a lot of people just as much in the rural areas, and only 7% of students around the country have a college access program. You have access, but even just access, it's with all the extra issues like transportation, other things, places where to reach students, it's far more challenging. But that's one of the reasons we said the need is greater. So a few years ago, we started reaching out into the rural areas. They've done the same thing then at the Syracuse office. So we do get more and more, but we're especially interested in reaching out again because we've been in Utica longer. People know us here. There's more name recognition and understandings and referrals coming in, but we're anxious in some of these new areas, out in the rural areas, the smaller towns throughout Oneida, Madison, and Herkimer counties, as well as Central New York, out of the Syracuse office, to get those students from some of those rural school districts, smaller ones, to come in. And many of them, as you astutely point out, are interested in agriculture, and there are many of the local agricultural looking for great workers. So we're especially interested in those from the rural areas and agriculture because, again, those are ones where it's maybe not as much word of mouth going around about it yet. But hopefully, with your help and wonderful shows like this, we'll have that coming, and it'll be just as well known in a few years out in the smaller towns and rural areas around the Mohawk Valley and Central New York as it is in Utica and Syracuse.
Thank you very much for that, because agriculture and, as you know, the smaller farms are disappearing. And there's a lot of children out there, or students, I should say, coming, young adults, and seeing that the farms aren't out there like they used to be. They're starting to look for opportunities like, what's my next career? Because they've been on the farm all them years.
Yes. And we help them whether they want to stay on the farm and go in agriculture, or they're looking at other career paths that they want to go to. We help them explore that. We take them in tours down to the colleges, but we also have corporate speakers come in or go out to the companies, take a look at both urban and rural areas and try to get them accommodated to what these career choices might be. A lot of them only know what they see on TV or and so opening up a lot of the wonderful career choices around here, and there are areas where the employers are desperately looking for people with the skills and education, and the students at the same time saying, I want a good, stable job, something I'm interested in, and getting those two matched up and empowering those students. A lot of them have the potential, but one of the problems is students in the lower quartile of family wealth and income, only about 7% of them get four-year college degrees, where those of the upper quartile, 65% get college degrees. So even though abilities are evenly distributed, the opportunity always isn't there. And all these challenges come out. It only takes one thing to stop somebody out. So someone attending the dinner, making a donation, that can help make the difference in a student's life and even their whole family. We're looking to lift students out of poverty. At the same time, we're also looking to forward their educational dreams.
I just wanted to say one more thing, Jeff and Kevin, is that I've been invited the past couple of years through the Genesis Group to attend job fairs or career days, I should say, not job fair, but career days at different high schools. And most of the students, they go to the fireman's booth or, teaching, nursing, that sort of thing. But most people do not realize that agriculture doesn't just include farmers. There's scientists, there's preparation people, there's research and development in all sorts of different types of foods and things.
It's New York's biggest industry.
It is. Thank you. Yeah. It is. And so when you talk about agriculture, the careers in the agriculture field are mind-boggling.
Amazing.
I mean, there's research development. And when I talk about agriculture, I'm talking from the farmer all the way to the waitress and the person that cooks that food. Because if the person in a restaurant isn't doing a very good job preparing that food or doing a good job for that food, it doesn't sell, which ripples back to the farmer.
Yes.
So I just want to say, please don't overlook the wide array of agriculture. Thank you.
Great points, yes.
Kevin, thank you for coming in. Kevin Markin is the director of On Point for College Utica. And again, the dinner is going on Thursday night, Hartsel Inn in Whitesboro. Tickets are $75. You can get them on their website, onpointforcollege.org. Kevin, thank you.
Thank you. And send any students our way that need help. That's an even more important message than coming to the dinner.
Absolutely. We'll take a quick time out. We'll come back. We'll check in on beef prices. I'm sure you've seen them at the grocery store. And how much more is it this year to put the Thanksgiving dinner on the table for the family? We'll talk to Farmer Ben coming up. It's First News Keeler in the morning, WIBX.
Are your windows old and tired? Hard to put up and down? Builder's grade windows just aren't made to last very long. Patriot Home Solutions is a different kind of window company. No games or gimmicks, no long drawn-out sales presentations, just high-quality, custom-fit windows at reasonable prices made right here in New York. And right now, you can get up to $2,000 off new windows from Patriot and NYSERDA. Plus, get an upgrade to triple pane windows for free. Minimum 3-window purchase. Most homeowners qualify for the savings, and income is not one of the requirements. So write this number down, 315-401-0440. That's 401-0440. Patriot Home Solutions will tell you right over the phone if you qualify. Don't miss your chance to save up to $2,000 and get the triple pane upgrade free. Funds are limited, so call before they run out. Learn more at callpatriothomesolutions.com. That's callpatriothomesolutions.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and servicing Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit bmecompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
Not sure what to get him this holiday? You can't go wrong with a gift from Untuck It. Every guy wants to unwrap our best-selling, wrinkle-free, and performance styles. From polished shirts for holiday parties to cozy layers for family photos, you'll find everything he needs to look sharp and feel comfortable all day and night. So, get a head start on your holiday gift list. Early holiday sale happening now. Find the perfect gift for everyone on your list at untuckit.com and more than 80 stores worldwide. Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn, untucked.
Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and Clinton. Life can be tough, full of judgment and negativity, but for 30 minutes a day, you can forget all that and focus on yourself. Just like one of our members, Irene, who mentions that everyone's cheering for each other, pushing through the sweat, the tough moments, and even the stuff that feels a little sucky. Irene also mentions finding the strength, the confidence, and a real fitness family here is outstanding. Come join us, embrace the challenge, and find your fitness home at Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and Clinton.
A winter weather advisory is in effect until 6 p.m. on this Veterans Day. There may be 3 to 7 inches of accumulation as lake effect snow continues. Also, gusty winds out of the west with a high of 37. Another round of snow late tonight with a low in the upper 20s. A change to rain tomorrow with a high of 41. And showers Thursday with a high in the low 40s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, it is 8:37, First News Keeler in the morning. Real quick, we ended last hour talking about what I initially identified as a lawsuit in the city of Utica. It is an ethics complaint about a possible conflict of interest. It is not a lawsuit. I mischaracterized that, so just wanted to correct that quickly. Did I have one more thing? Here's Lance. Let's see. No, that's... Lance says, another sheepdog that has pulmonary derangement syndrome that doesn't like me. How will I ever get any sleep tonight? Moving on, Farmer Ben is in studio. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Jeff and Davey. How are you guys doing?
Good. So you said, I was curious how much snow you got. Where are you again?
Up on Star Hill, town of Steuben.
You typically get more snow than down here in the valley, right?
Typically we do. I'm a little bit cooler, so we always get a little bit more snow on Star Hill than we do in Steuben Valley. And then you guys down here in Utica always get a little bit less. You're down in the valley. It's a little warmer down here. But this morning, I got to tell you, Bill Cardez and Eric Gage got it accurate, because all I have up on Star Hill is just a dusting, just a little bit more than a dandruff. And Holland Patton the same. The roads are good. But, boy, once I got by the Marcy facility here, right at the end of Fox Road, I'm like, whoa, look at all this snow. So I got to tell you, them guys got it accurate. The other day they didn't hit it so good, I got to tell you.
The windstorm?
The windstorm. We all took the grain augers down. We battened up everything. We went around, made sure the doors were extra tighter and closed them up so the wind wouldn't blow everything away. And there wasn't so much as a breeze.
I know.
And I even went out and fueled up my tractor. I have a generator that hooks to my tractor that runs the entire farm. And nothing. I was like, okay, this is a good mistake.
Yes.
So
yes. It's always better for them to overstate what we're getting than understate it, for sure.
I got to say, guys coming from the north down here this morning, they were spot on, because you got way more snow down here in Marcy than we have up in Steuben.
2 inches. I just went and measured. I took a ruler out there and put it right in the ground, right on the ground. So we got 2 inches in the parking lot, and it's still coming down out there.
So I'd like to, before we get into everything, today is Veterans Day, as you know. Of course, you've been talking about it, and the calendar shows it. And I want to, tip my hat to the veterans, because we live in the greatest country, even though the country's divided, whatever, just go with it. But at the end of the day, it's our veterans. And I did a little research. I do know that there are a bunch of veterans in our area, too, that are farmers, okay? So I did a little research this morning at 3:30 when I got up and thought about it. And did you realize, guys, that roughly 9% of all the farmers and ranchers in the United States are some sort of a veteran?
I did not.
Yep. And so there's 305,000 veteran farmers in the United States of the 3.4 million farmers.
Wow.
So I just want to on behalf of the agricultural community, tip our hat to the veterans, and I do. It saddens me to hear some of the sad stories about them being homeless and everything, but most of us people don't ever deal with what they do during a war.
Sure.
So if you know somebody that's homeless or needs some help, reach out to them, because I do see them. I mean, I go through Utica. We see them, different cities in my travels. And so again, but on a high note, thank you to the veterans, and thank you for what you do. And also, not only they're a veteran to protect our country, now they're here, they are feeding our country. So thank you to the veterans.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you to the veterans and especially those who are veterans and farmers, because certainly those are people who are not adverse to work and sacrifice and putting the needs of others before theirs. So
yeah. And there's
very grateful.
And there's also a lot of programs out there. When I was on the State Farm Bureau, we were pushing for the Farmers Veteran Coalition. That is so that if somebody comes back from the military, they don't have a lot of resources, they can reach out. You can Google it, and veterans can get all kinds of assistance and help to transition to become farmers. And when I talk about farmers, Jeff, for just a moment, we're not talking about farmers that need to milk cows or have 500 beef cows. There are small farmers that grow vegetables in their homes or in their garden up on rooftops here in the city. Mm-hmm. That's all agriculture, growing tomatoes, growing different things. So if you are a veteran and you're looking to get into agriculture, and agriculture, as we've talked about before, is a very high input money deal, reach out to the Farmers Veteran Coalition. And I see you tapping on your computer, Jeff. You'll be able to pull that right up. And there is all kinds of help through the USDA to help veterans become farmers.
So it's funny because it is agriculture, but you talk about, like, especially you see this more in New York City where they do the rooftop growing of plants and stuff.
And that's big business now. I want to take a moment with that one.
Yeah.
We laugh about New York City and it's all buildings and skies and everything else, high sky rises. But do you realize now that just in this past year, New York City has opened their very first USDA farm center for all the people that are growing vegetables and things in New York City to be reported to the USDA. That's how big ag is growing, even in downtown New York City in the different boroughs.
That's great.
So I just wanted to emphasize. So don't think because you live in an apartment building in downtown Utica that you can't be involved in agriculture.
So, and we talked to Joe Lode yesterday, and he was talking about canning. And as a matter of fact, my neighbor, they're the greatest neighbors in the world, I'm telling you. Every time they're out cooking all the time, and they canned some items. And in particular, they brought me a jar of canned cucumbers. Obviously, they become pickles.
Mm-hmm.
And I encourage that. If you can do that and you have the means to do it and an interest in do it. Fresh, locally grown food is better than any processed stuff you're going to get. So, fresh. And it's more cost efficient, etc. I can go on about the benefits, but I think most of it's obvious. I will say, though, with the New York City skyscrapers, the only problem with agriculture on the rooftops is if you till the field, you get a leak in the roof. So you got to be careful when you're out there doing
don't
that.
Go up there with a rototiller.
All right, so let's talk about some beef prices.
Sure.
You warned us a few months ago.
Yep.
And I don't know. We haven't seen the full impact of it yet.
No, you have not. But it's still climbing.
Beef prices are going up for sure. For sure. So what's the latest you see there? Are they starting to level off? Is the situation getting any better?
Well, so as you know, President Trump went down to Argentina and Brazil here just lately, mainly Argentina, made a deal because we had an agreement with Argentina that they could ship, or we in the United States would buy 20,000 tons of beef from them in a year. And Donald Trump went down, renegotiated a new deal that's 80,000 ton to move it up.
Which I'm sure they loved.
Well, they like that deal, but the problem is they don't have it either. I mean, they're growing their beef as fast as they can. So if you think it's going to crash or reduce the price of beef in the store right away, it's not.
No.
Because two things. One, they've got to grow this beef. Two, it isn't here yet. You know how long it takes to get a beef cow from Argentina to the United States? They don't just put them on a plane. You follow me?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's just going to take some time. But the reality is, Jeff, and I don't want to hurt the consumer and your listeners, but to be honest with you, as a farmer, the beef cattle that we are selling off our farms, retired dairy cows and beef cattle that are going into the food chain, truly, the price of them animals is probably where it should be. It should have been there for a long time. What's problem is you got the beef packers, the slaughterhouses, the truckers, the store. So when you go to the store and you're paying $20, $28 a pound for your top-of-the-line steaks, Well, Donald Trump's looking into that. You see it's all over the social media that they're looking into price gouging because there's only 4 companies in the United States that handle all the beef, 85% of the beef in the United States. They think there's some collusion going on there. They really do. But the price of beef cattle is high. And the other reason why they're high is the beef cattle herd in the United States is shrinking. One is because of the adverse weather we've had the past few years. If you remember right, about 4, 5, 6 years ago, there was a major blizzard that went through our upper Midwest. It started out as rain, and then it turned right to ice and snow, and they had like 4, 5, 6 feet of snow. It devastated the beef herd in the Midwest, killed a lot of cattle, not just baby calves, but cows, everything. And then with the price of beef being so high, the farmers now are finally able to, they're cashing in on their cows. That traditionally they would send their steers to the marketplace. Well, beef is so high, the animals are bringing so much money that they're actually sending the mother cows, you follow me, the mature cows.
Sure.
And then when I was out in Missouri this past spring, my wife and I took a spring trip and went to Missouri, to Branson. We spent some time driving the back roads. There's massive amount of beef in Missouri, massive amount. But the one thing that my wife and I didn't see during spring calving was where's all the baby calves. We were there during spring calving. Very, very few baby calves. So then we stopped into a couple of diners. I like to eat local. I like to talk to the local people like you do, Jeff. Visit,
Sure.
And so anyway, I got bumped into a few of the rancher farmers out there and says, where's all your baby calves? What's going on? Is it a late spring for the babies? What's going on? And they explained to me that in a couple of years ago, you would have a cow have a baby in the spring. You'd leave that baby calf on the mother cow till fall. Then you would take that, what they call feeder. They weigh 300 to 400 pounds. They would go to a feed lot is where they would finish them off. They feed them high-intense corn, haylage, high-protein feed to grow them so they're beef. And they would get $800 to $900 for them animals 6 months after they were born. $800 now, okay?
Yeah.
This spring, baby calves, 7 days old. The mother lays down on the ground, has a baby. They leave it on the mother for 7 days so it gets its colostrum milk and gets energy and everything. 7 days later, $1,500 for baby calves.
That's almost double.
Double. No risk. You have no loss because 7 days later they sell it. So what the problem is everybody has taken advantage of the price of beef, the farmers are. But to be honest with you, I'm going to go back to it. The price of cattle is where it probably should have been for a long time. It's just now with the shortage of cattle.
Sure. So you're certainly know more about this than I do, but as most things, though, it's a supply and demand.
Correct.
I mean, the price is being driven up because the demand is down, supply is high, and if it was reversed, that price would come back down.
Yep, and it will. There's no question at some point, especially when they start opening the border. Why President Trump did this, and a bunch of farmers, beef farmers, are very upset with Donald Trump. They voted for him, and then he went down and made a deal on agriculture. But at the end of the day, Donald Trump also got to worry about the other millions of people in the United States that can't afford this high expensive beef price. So he's trying to bring more competition into the marketplace. But I'm telling you, as a farmer, to the consumer out there, our listeners, the bottom line is don't think the price of beef is going to soften anytime soon. It's not, because the beef is not there. The world is getting hungry. China's population is growing, and those people have a little more money in their pocket. The rest of the world is starting to do really well. They have money. What are they looking for? They're not eating just rice anymore.
Right.
They're looking for beef and lamb and chicken, which is going to drive up the price because of supply and demand. Thank you.
Farmer Ben is joining us in studio. A quick timeout. We'll talk about this fall harvest and Thanksgiving right around the corner. 2 minutes. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well,
I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Some firsts you'd like to leave in the rearview mirror. Other firsts are life-changing. 90 years ago, Nokian tires changed driving with our first, the invention of the winter tire. Today, we're still the leader in winter driving with more than 100 patents and 200 days of testing in the Arctic every year. Winter is our first love. Make winter safety your first priority. Nokian tires. First things first. Visit Tolman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tolmanstire.com.
Hi, Billy Mays here with the brand new Keeler Kill Switch. When that morning show starts yapping about something you can't stand, don't reach for the dial. Just press this big red button and BAM!
This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, back here, First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Did not have a winner in the 2 days I was in, taking the lead here with the free money question of the day. We did get, obviously, the $25 gift card, the all-in-one Utica Food and Fun card. Bill's back tomorrow, and maybe we'll get a winner on that tomorrow. Farmer Ben is joining us in studio. The reason I mentioned the money, I was going to say, is it could go toward the next time you want to buy a hamburger. You win $150, maybe you go buy 2 cheeseburgers because the prices are going up.
Not quite that bad, but pretty close.
Through the roof.
Or buy your Thanksgiving dinner.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Smitty. That's a great segue because let's begin here, though. You had a great fall. You said you had a great fall.
Yes. Yeah. The weather this fall has been very, very good. We're just starting to get some rain that we needed. We're about 50% done with our corn harvest, grain corn now. Corn silage season's over. That's where they chop the whole plant. And now everyone is into the grain. Basically, when you drive by these fields and you see corn still standing out in the fields, and it's all totally brown, and it looks, I call it Halloween.
It's all white this morning.
Right, it's all white this morning. But that's the grain. The farmers are going through with a different machine, and they're basically shucking off, that's the word shucking, off or combining off just the kernels, the golden kernel. So please pay attention to the farmers. They're still out there. But harvest has been going along very well for everybody. We've had a good fall. Weather's been very cooperative. Things are going very well for the farmer that way. Prices are a little bit soft on different items. Donald Trump went and made a big deal, as you know. You read it in the papers and saw it in media that he made a big deal that China's back at the table. And before he even got on Air Force One, China ordered, I think it was 33 million metric tons of soybeans that day before he even got on Air Force One and left the country.
Now, that's your cup of tea, right?
And so that's my cup of tea because we sell soybeans.
Yeah.
And so soybeans are creeping up a little bit. Corn is lagging a little bit because there's just a lot of it. We're having a very good crop. So
again, supply and demand, right?
Supply and demand. You got it. And but overall, things aren't too awful bad, really. The government shutdown. Everyone calls me and asks, Ben, what's the government shut down doing? Davey even asked me when he called me about coming on the show. And the bottom line is all the farmers throughout the United States are just finishing up or in the midst of their combining, of their harvesting. So it really hasn't been affecting the farmer too awful bad just yet because they haven't had time to do their crop reports. But we're glad it's over. And so the USDA will be back in business. What I want to emphasize, and then we'll move on, we need a farm bill. That's the thing that we got to. I got to talk to John Mannion about that, Congressman Mannion. I've been invited to be on his Ag Advisory Committee. I'm looking forward to doing that again with him. I've been on very many of these congressional ag advisories, and
Okay, sorry about that.
So
Ben.
anyway,
we got clipped there right at the
we
end.
need
You've
a
been on the
farm
farm ag advisory committees, and you're looking forward to doing that again.
Yep, I'm looking forward. John Mannion has asked me and his staff to be on his ag advisory committee, and when he gets back from Washington, once they get all the voting done for the opening of government, I am definitely going to be sitting down with him, having strong talk about we've got to push forward on a farm bill. We can't live on 2018 rules and regulations. We're 2025 going into 26. So, that being said, you wanted to talk about Thanksgiving?
Let's talk some Thanksgiving.
Because I keep digressing.
No, that's fine.
There's so much. So, the good news is, Jeff and Davey, that the little bit of research I've done and talking to my wife and going to the Farm Bureau website, I want everyone to know everything's high in the grocery stores. But if you go to the American Farm Bureau website, you will find that if your traditional Thanksgiving dinner is actually going to be down a little bit by 3 to 4%. And the major contributor to that is not the turkey. The turkey is going to be very pricey because it's a protein product.
Yeah.
But all your vegetables and everything else is down a little bit due to transportation costs. The price of fuels come down. Everything's kind of supply and demand. The United States had a really good year. So, and of course, I say it every year, do as much as you can buy local for your Thanksgiving table. And before we go out of time, I want to make sure everybody, I do this annually. When you're sitting down giving blessing at Thanksgiving with your family and your dear friends and especially your dear family, please also tip your hat and give a thanks to the farmer. Because you look around your table, I challenge anybody to sit around your Thanksgiving table and just look at all the bounty and the food that you're very blessed to have in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And it all originated from a farmer. So I just wanted to make sure I got that in. And then the other thing I wanted to emphasize here a little bit is the next crop that everybody talks about. We talk about corn. We talk about soybeans. We talk about milk because those are my things. And my friend Rob Mashel, the sheriff, Rancher Rob, he says, Ben, you got to start expanding your horizon a little bit on agriculture. So this is because of Rob. The next crop to be harvested, ladies and gentlemen, out there, you ready? Mm-hmm. Christmas trees.
Oh, yeah.
Christmas trees. And Jeff, you're laughing, and I'm kind of laughing too. But you drive around and look at all the Christmas trees, and that is agriculture.
It is. You wouldn't think of it. You don't I wouldn't consider it to be a crop, but certainly it is.
It is. They plant them. They fertilize them. They mow between them. They prune them. So, yes, your next crop is Christmas trees. Get out and support your local Christmas tree farm.
And I can also tell you that this is one year I went up and got a tree on the Buttonshawn Tree Farm.
Yep, Mary Ann and her husband Don.
He was talking about, I'm going to get this wrong. I know we got 20 seconds. I see it, Smitty. It's like for every acre of Christmas trees, it cleans an insane amount of air.
Yes.
It does a tremendous job of filtering the air and cleaning the air for us. So thank you. I want to follow up on your point. Yes, you're absolutely right. When we sit down for Thanksgiving, it's important to thank a farmer because that's where all that comes from. Have a great day, everybody, and happy Veterans Day.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome,
W295DI,
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
The government shutdown is close to ending. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
And I'm relieved.